everywhere. Live streamed on Candid, live on 93.3 ThePOINT.gu, Facebook. Former Governor Felix P. Camacho, Congressman Mike Sinicolas, and Governor Lou Leon Guerrero.
Brought to you by the Committee to Re-elect Leon Guerrero Tenorio and by Linda's Diner. Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they will continue to be there for you in the years to come. Get a personal loan for that summer vacation or to pay off those long overdue bills. Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $3,900 by calling Family Finance in Kanya, now at the old Nanbo Insurance Building at 475-4545, Upper Tumon 647-5626, or in Dededo 633-4473. Family Finance, here to serve you.
A deadly accident near a public event remains under investigation in Nebraska.
Police in Lincoln say two cars collided at an intersection of an annual Memorial Day weekend car cruise event Sunday, leaving 2 people dead and at least 20 injured. Officials say there were about 300 to 400 people at the event, the vehicles going up on a sidewalk. Officers say both victims were riding in one of the vehicles, adding in a Facebook post, one victim is currently in critical condition with the others hurt, sustaining non-life-threatening injuries. They're asking anyone who witnessed the crash to come forward with any information, saying the investigation is ongoing, but adding they do not believe, nor is there any evidence this was an intentional act. Kristen Goodwin, Fox News.
A man's charged with boating under the influence after a crash that killed 5 people near Savannah, Georgia.
On Saturday, authorities arrested 45-year-old Mark Stiegel for allegedly boating under the influence in connection with this accident. He was released on bond the same day. Witnesses say they saw 2 recreational boats carrying a total of 9 passengers, 6 in one, 3 in the other, colliding on the Wilmington River Saturday morning.
Fox's Jonathan Seri. 4 survivors were taken to the hospital. Search crews later finding the bodies of 5 others. 4 of the dead are from one family. EU leaders holding a summit to discuss how to further punish Russia over the war in Ukraine.
They're looking at a 6th package of sanctions, the centerpiece of which would be an embargo on Russian oil. But an oil embargo has proven tricky because Hungary, Slovakia, the Czech Republic, and Bulgaria depend on Russian oil. One compromise that has been spoken about is banning oil that is transported by sea, but not oil imported via pipelines. The German chancellor said he feels confident they'll reach some sort of solution.
Fox's Amy Kellogg. Meantime, NATO countries trying to figure out how to unblock Ukrainian grains stuck in ports. Elisa Brady, Fox News.
Half a day. Patsy Gogri from Security Title here with information about what a title company does. The title side of our business determines who owns a property and guarantees your ownership with a title insurance policy. The escrow side acts as an independent third party, managing the transfer of money and documents between the buyer, seller, lenders, and others. Security Title has a management of real estate closings down to a science. Give us a call. We are here to help.
Half a day, this is Josh here at APO. Our expertise and extensive network can help you grow your business and reach out to more global markets. As a responsible carrier, APO is also committed to a sustainable future, whether it's protecting the environment or investing our efforts in giving back to the community. Our dedicated teams in Guam, Saipan, and on U.S. mainland are here to support you. Call 588-4651 or visit www.apo.com.
Come try Guam's original Chamorro restaurant with Pica's best 5 years running. Mezcla Chamorro Fusion Bistro. Experience Chef Peter's candied salmon over scallion coconut rice, octopus to naktak, Chamorro platter, and their award-winning gourmet hamburgers. Or if you're looking for something healthy, try their keto-friendly menu. Come and enjoy Mezcla's half-a-day service at their Hagåtña and Grand Plaza Tumon location. Call their Hagåtña location at 479-2652 for reservations.
Half a day at 6:06. I'm Mana Silva Tyron with a look at your local news on The Point. A 21-year-old man wanted in a shooting incident on Saturday night is behind bars after he turned himself in to police. The shooting took place at the Paseo. It was shared throughout social media, showing a man wielding a machete before shots were fired. Guam police confirm 21-year-old Evan Babauta Pangilinan turned himself in to the police department's Southern Precinct Command. According to the Guam Daily Post, he was booked and confined on a number of firearms charges to include carrying a firearm without a valid firearms identification, unlawfully discharging a firearm. He was also charged with disorderly conduct and being intoxicated under the age of 21 years old. The police are continuing their investigation into that incident. Meanwhile, senators will be back into session this week, but what's yet to be placed on the agenda is a bill that would allow for a land lease bill for the 198-megawatt Ukudu power plant. The Post reports that the measure failed to get on the legislative agenda on Friday after objections were raised over how long the bill's committee report had been posted on the legislature's website. The bill's author, Senator Joseph Augustine, attempted twice to get the bill on the session agenda and each time failed to garner enough votes to proceed. The power plant is a key asset for the Guam Power Authority and for the island as a whole, according to GPA. The facility is to become the next main power plant for Guam and is part of a consent decree that the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency issued. Full construction won't begin until the financing entity for KEPCO releases more than $500 million in remaining funding. And lenders, they say, won't release the money until the lease agreement between GPA and Ukudu Power gets the land lease, that is. Bill 301 would accomplish this condition, but the legislature hit a snag on Friday. Senator Tello Taitagui was one of those who objected to the placement on the agenda for reportedly failing to satisfy a notice period. The Speaker of the legislature, however, still maintains that there is no notice period required. Meanwhile, the 60-megawatt solar facility at the Mangilao solar compound is expected to be commissioned in June. That would provide GPA with cheaper renewable energy at a time when the fuel oil prices are going higher and higher. The KEPCO solar facility is contracted to deliver 141 million kilowatt hours annually. It is said that it would save GPA about $30.5 million in fuel costs. Well, more news right after this.
The Federal Reserve is starting to increase interest rates to fight inflation, but they're still so low, making it the perfect time to refinance your home, to lower your rate, and perhaps take advantage of its increased value to put some cash in your pocket during these uncertain times. Cash that you can have the freedom to access when you want, where you want, with your Bank Pacific Visa debit card. Lower your rate with cash in your pocket. Access your cash when you want, where you want, with your Visa debit card. Brothers Put Branches, we place roots, and we're rooting for you. Equal housing lender, credit conditions apply.
A bill at the legislature seeks to put on hold the liquid fuel tax, and the administration says that this is something that they may support. Bill 295 had a public hearing last week in which the administration testified in support, as it would impose a 6-month moratorium on liquid fuel surcharges and most liquid fuel taxes. This, according to the bill's author, Senator Joseph Augustine, would reduce costs for consumers at the gas pump. BBMR's director, Lester Carlson, testified in support of the measure, offering a couple of suggestions. He said Bill 295 would obviously deflate certain government funds by holding off on taxes and surcharges. BBMR estimates that the Guam Highway Fund would lose about $4.5 million, while the Public Transit Fund would lose about $156,000. Carlson, among some of his suggestions, asked that the moratorium only be applied to this fiscal year, 2022, and suggests that if the moratorium continues into the next fiscal year, that it be included in the budget. Well, another incentive looks to get people vaccinated, boosted, and will also give them a little more cash for gas. The governor's office announced yesterday that the program would give $25 vouchers to residents who maintain their vaccination for COVID-19. This applies to individuals who are 12 years of age and older. You can now choose to either get a $25 gas for voucher for gas, or you could also use it at for store items at Shell gas stations. And those are your top stories here on The Point. Here's Ray with your weather.
You know, there's a shortage, and fortunately, we're not going to be affected by this.
You can't use it for alcohol, by the way.
No. What's that? Oh, the
voucher.
Oh, yes, you can. You can use anything for alcohol. No, you can use food stamps. I mean, there are ways. You just gotta know the way of the land here. But no, there's everything shortage going on these days because let's go Brandon, right? But there is a new shortage that will not affect Guam, thankfully, because near as I can tell, we don't actually have any swimming pools that work around here outside of the hotels and places like that. But all across the country, cities are having a hard time opening up their public swimming pools for the summer because there's a shortage of, ready? lifeguards. We've got a shortage of actual human beings. Nobody wants this job anymore.
Robots will take that.
Philadelphia has just enough lifeguards to open 18 of their outdoor pools. Philly has 65 pools that they want to open that nobody's going to be able to swim in because they don't have actual lifeguards to do that work. So I don't know if you're thinking about the pretty good excuse to leave town and go live and work someplace else. Go be a lifeguard in Philly. This is a brotherly love. Somebody out there from Philly is listening going, no, stay away. This is not built for Guamanians. 6:12 in the morning on the Ray Gibson Show. Shall we into weather? Yes, let's do this. Sunrise yesterday morning, breaking over the park in Assen, Camp Assen.
Amazing.
Absolutely gorgeous. I think that's a little chance he's back as the sun is rising up in front of him. The sun doesn't come up on that side of the island. How'd you get a sunrise from there? All right, Sarita, explain yourself. What do we got here? Mostly sunny, highs near 88 degrees. Easterly winds 7 to 11 miles an hour. For tonight, expect partly cloudy skies in the forecast. Lows around 78 degrees. East-southeast winds 5 to 9 miles an hour, becoming calm after midnight. I get no hope from today's weather forecast because it starts with mostly sunny. You know what that means? It means the roof of the house is going to be hot, and that means the entire house is going to be hot here today. And the air conditioning bill, because it doesn't pay for any other power. The only other power I'm using in the house is occasionally to heat up some water so I can take a shower or run the refrigerator because that's where I keep my eggs and my bacon and my beer. That's it. I'm not using power for anything else in the house except for those two things and the air conditioning, which I'm apparently addicted to. Partly sunny in the forecast tomorrow. Maybe some scattered showers to cool off my roof. Highs near 88 degrees. Light and variable winds becoming east about 6 miles an hour in the afternoon. And tomorrow night's weather calls for mostly cloudy skies. Lows around 78 degrees. Heat index today, like I said, it's going to be another hot one. Going to make it feel like it is. Are you ready for this? 98 degrees again. 20% chance of rain. Sunrise this morning was at 5:53. There's another shot of Camp Assen and sunrise. I think I've got some other sunrise pictures this morning from Sarita and her outpost there in Tamuning. Nice crepuscular rays. It's very, very pretty. Sunset tonight is going to be at 6:44. Hashtag tell the others. There it is. News and weather together brought to you by Bank Pacific. Banking on the hot Pacific for 67.87 years.
Take advantage of FHP Health Center's Back to School Early Bird Special. Before summer gets too busy, make an appointment now to update your child's immunizations, PPD skin tests, and sports physicals. Call FHP Pediatrics. Most insurance plans accepted, including TRICARE, Medicaid, and self-pay patients. Call for an appointment. 671-646-5825. Press 1. Go to FHPGuam.com for more information. FHP, our island, your clinic.
Is your business ready for digital transformation? The latest Wi-Fi technology is here, and it's Docomo Pacific's WorkPass, powered by Plume. WorkPass unlocks connectivity, productivity, and security tools all in the palm of your hand. Access features like adaptive Wi-Fi, guest and employee networks, evolving AI security, plus so much more. To learn more about WorkPass, visit business.docomopacific.com. Docomo Pacific Business. Work better together.
Can do. 6:15 in the morning, the Ray Gibson Show, portions of which brought to you by American President Lines. APL, a global presence with a local home. And I want to say thank you very much to Carl Meyer, who found his way to the radio station on Friday and dropped off T-shirts.
You saw him.
I didn't know. I did
He's
not
a
see
real
him.
human. Okay.
No, Kevin saw him.
All right.
Kevin at the front saw him and received from him 1, 2, 3. We got these CMA CG. And Mana's asking me what these stand for. I said, ask Joe. What is it? But it's nice. They got their own T-shirts.
CGM is Come Guam, man.
Is that it?
Come Guam, man.
Okay, it's the Heridote. They have their own shirts. This is awesome. The last time I felt this good was when Charlie Hermosa gave me an APL golf hat. Thanks very much, Carl. I'm going to wear this at some point here this morning. 6:16 in the morning. Ray Gibson Show also being brought to you by Wendy's. We're at that weird point where not Wendy's but Cold Stone Creamery. We're at that weird point in the schedule where are we still talking about graduations, or should I be porting people to buy their dad an ice cream cake for Father's Day, which is also coming up. Now you figure it out. So they got graduation themed ice cream cakes from Cold Stone Creamery. Plus, they've got your dad's favorite ice cream cake. Maybe it's the tall, dark, and delicious signature ice cream cake. Call or order online at coldstonecreamery.com.
The Ray Gibson Show. Morning talk that matters. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
How will we do Baywatch if there's no lifeguards? I'm getting there. Come on. It's a 3-day weekend behind me here. And you know, I got to retrain myself after
You had a weekend?
After 2-day weekends. Yeah.
You had a weekend?
There was
Oh,
stuff.
my God, I feel like I worked all weekend.
Well, there was still work going on. There was still, I did work. Everybody getting ready.
Preparing for our big event tonight.
The debate, Platform 2022 on Candid and
I'm
The
going to have a
Point.
weekend tomorrow.
Is that the way it works? So I show up over at the Candid Studios. Nice studios, by the way, guys. I show up at the Candid Studio on Saturday morning. I don't know, 11, something like that, right? And I walk in, and the first thing that Troy says, "Whoa, 2.5 hours putting the questions together last night," and all I could think of was, "Thank you, Jesus, that I didn't have to show up for that." Thank God, because I'm not.
Is it 2.5 hours or 3?
Well, Mona says it was closer to 3 hours with all the questions and multiple ways. I mean, it's not just here.
Very
Ask
thoughtful.
this question.
Very thoughtful conversation. I mean, I won't disclose what the conversation was.
Well,
but
you can't, because
it
it's
was
supposed to be
very
a
thoughtful
surprise for everybody.
conversation, and so it will be a very good debate.
Are there any questions that have anything to
Can't
do
tell
with turning Super Bowl Monday into a holiday?
Can't tell you.
Nothing like that.
Can't tell you.
Come on.
Can't tell you anything.
Anyway, you want to know what the questions are? Find out by watching the debate or listening to it. We'll have it on at 5:30. So, programming note: the Tall Tales program with Bob Klitsky. We're not going to necessarily short you by a half hour. He's going to start at 3:30 today. Is the last of the conversations that we had about that. So 3:30 this afternoon, Tall Tales, make a note of it. For those of you that haven't yet, please like and follow The Point on Facebook. That way you'll get a blurb just like you did this morning that says that, hey, we're on the air with the program. Warning. They're at it again over at The Point. But anyway, so yeah, you did that. So I went in and hooked up my equipment. And who is there? Francie Santos from the All In people were there, and Francie wanted me to do something like, no, I'm only here to do this. I'm not working. I'm not talk show working right now. I'm roadie working. I'm hooking up equipment, and as soon as I've tested it and make sure it works, guess what? I'm out of here.
Adios.
See you later. Hey, you want to talk politics? No, I don't want to talk politics. I want it to be Saturday, and at this point, I want to get into my full-blown Saturday mode, which is in the backyard or at the beach with bikinis and coolers and all of that stuff.
Doing nothing,
as it were.
Brother.
And ended up doing pretty much nothing on Sunday. I got a little bit of work done, work done yesterday, but even that was went up to the mountaintop, took care of something, came back down, and again, where did I put my cooler? Where did I put my my beer? Where did I put all of the other stuff? And the correct answer is Moses, for those of you that are wondering. 6:21 in the morning. Lots and lots to get to, not really, on today's table of contents. Lots of people that we want to talk to about a variety of topics. As I said, I'm hanging out over at the Mosa place last night, and my buddy comes, he sits over and just kind of yonder, and he says, guess where I just came back from? And I'm looking at it because he's got the Manila smile on his face.
I knew it.
I'm like, dude, how was it? He says, you don't want to go. Oh. This is the second time somebody has told me that I don't want to go to Manila yet.
Hassles?
Hassles? Mask hassles and vaccine hassles, and all of the places that I like going to are apparently gone. Apparently, there is no, and I know some of you are going, oh, bitches, yeah, whatever. No, the place that I'm looking for that I like to go to is at Greenbelt, and it's a place called Cafe Havana.
because the food is really good there, and the entertainment is good, and there's some wildlife that is fun to watch from time to time. And you're going, oh, okay, yeah, stick around there. Maybe go to a couple of other places at Greenbelt. And apparently they closed the Cafe Havana in Manila. What's up with that? And then they were talking about, oh, you can go this place, this. I'm like, no, that's not Makati, and it's not BGC,
man,
so it's not where I want to go. And there's another bar. We were talking about how great 80s music. You said, 80s music in the bars is kind of a thing in the Philippines. And I said, oh my God, best 80s band I've ever heard in Manila was at a place called Sticky Fingers. And I cannot say the name of the restaurant, Sticky Fingers, without actually doing something with my fingers. I'm going, oh yeah, Sticky Fingers, and he says closed. Dude, get out of here. Now, I know the band, super band, is like ultra talented, so they're going to end up someplace. But it's just now it's like if you go back to Manila, it's like you're going to have to figure it out all over again.
They don't want to work? What's the word on the street, man?
Everybody wants to work, but they're not. It's hard to get into the Philippines now, or right up until recently, it's hard to get into the Philippines. Now I think you just need your mileage may vary. I got a note from my buddy Renee, who's online here this morning. I'm sure on Saturday or Sunday morning, and he was talking about. I will get the thing, and right there I see it. There's the WhatsApp. I click on his name, and then it says, starting May 30th, hey, that was yesterday, Philippines is no longer requiring COVID-19 test results upon entry. Book now, pre-departure COVID test no longer required for travelers, i.e. Guam, foreign and Filipino nationals 18 years and above should be fully vaccinated and should have received at least one COVID-19 vaccine booster shot. So if you want to go to the Philippines, those apparently are the new requirements. There are others for 12-year-olds and below, and 12 to 17-year-olds, and never mind all of that. I think for the most part. And then we got word about how things are going to be gently being pried open in Japan. You knew that United was going to be boosting a bunch of flights there starting like immediately, but apparently Japan Airlines has also decided that they're going to start flying people in and out. Now, not necessarily caring about inbound travel because I don't qualify for any of it because I'm not vaccinated still, but for returning Japanese should be a whole lot easier now that they've got United to fly out on and Japan Airlines, and maybe others will come to the fold. So that could end up being good news for Guam, and based on the news and the headlines, we sure could use it. 6:24 in the morning. Let's talk about these foreign nationals here.
Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You want to be where you can see our troubles are all the same. You want to be where everybody knows your name. You want to go where people know people are all the same. You want to go where everybody knows your name.
Wonder we should talk about that. Cousin Troy says was able to confirm participation in a post-debate analysis. Dr. McNinch will moderate Ginger Cruz for the Democrats and Juan Carlos Benitez or his alternate for Republicans. Ginger Cruz? As in Ginger used to be the press for Carl T. Gutierrez. How about that?
Yeah.
What's she doing back here?
I think she's got military contracts that she's
got to oversee.
Working, yeah.
Awesome.
But I saw her in the news. Gosh, I want to say about 6 months ago. So I think she might be here.
Is she returning resident Ginger Cruz?
Not sure.
Is she returning to the media Ginger Cruz?
Wasn't she on the air with you at some point?
Yes, she
was. It was about a year and a half ago. I was down at.
I remember.
Do you remember? Yeah. She came in. I let her read some news. It was fun. Anyway, 6:26 in the morning. Let's see. Let's find out who's number one on the list here today from the upper left-hand corner of the United States of America. Tina McCausland from the, I'm sure, still pretty hot Washington State, followed by Matt Galendez. Good morning and welcome to it, Sarah Garin. Sarita Garin is online. That's the very pretty Sarita Garin. JB Sinicolas talking about a point fix again. Got to get that Post Canteen online. Post Canteen. Did anybody win? almost $3,000 on Friday night at the VFW. Man, can you imagine the crazy amount of activity they had going on like all weekend long? Memorial Day, there's flag burning. I think they did some of that there, and they had the cook your own deal on the steak, and then the VFW giveaway on Friday night. You got to be tired now from all of that. Dale Audette is there. Jay Rojas in Hawaii saying aloha.
Aloha.
Good to have you there. The amazing Ken Brown. Ken Brown in California is checking in. I'm trying to remember what the most recent thing that we were commenting about.
Brown.
Yeah, I'm around. Good to have you there. Dennis Benzer saying, well, hello. Good morning to, let me see, Rico B., who said he watched Top Gun Maverick over the weekend.
Big man.
He said it was a must-watch. Now, without any spoilers, Real Joe, you watched Top Gun over the weekend, yes?
I did. I loved it.
Did you?
I did.
Everybody is raving about this movie. And
I was hoping I would fall in love with America again.
Yeah.
But I didn't. I fell in love with Tom Cruise
Can
again.
you imagine? Yeah,
I did,
yeah.
Man.
So there are a couple of stories floating around. Apparently, they actually rented from the Defense Department the airplanes that they were flying around in that movie. They rent $11,000 an hour, and with very clear instructions that Mr. Cruise is not to touch anything on the dashboard of the airplanes. He is not to touch any of the controls of the airplane. His hands must be in his pockets the entire time. But he was still able to shoot that incredible movie, and I'm told some great action sequences.
Definitely, man.
Were there any homoerotic parts of the movie that reminded you?
Myself many times, Ray.
Did you? Another one of those volleyball scenes where they're volleyball?
There was a scene, but it was football.
It was whole football.
Yeah, it was a different
shirts and skins, or just all shirts.
Yeah, Ray. It was
all right.
there.
So I'm trying to figure out what I'm not. We've talked about this before. I'm not a movie theater guy. So if I go, it would have to be me and a handful of other people under very, very strict orders. No phones and no talking and no eating out of anything that makes a lot of noise. Right? No plastic bags. None of that stuff. And I'd like to be able to have. Is there closed captions on this so that if somebody does say something, and also can I rewind? Can I rewind it? Is there a way? Can I pause it if I got to go pee?
Hold up.
Yeah, because get those big things of Mountain Dew. Anyway, so congratulations. Rico B says it is a must-watch, and the deal is because it's Top Gun, you have to watch it on a big screen. You can't. It's not one of those things that you later on. Yeah. So I'm going to figure out. I'm going to figure out when the next big movie shows up and gets everybody out of that particular theater. Then I'll go and watch it. Timing is everything. I don't want to watch Bob's Burgers because Mayumi and I have a thing for Bob's Burgers. We got Sarita talking about a Tuesday grind. Patty Santiago saying good morning to everybody. Hava Matt Galenda says yes, it's Tuesday. MT Farron Buenos Zen Holiday. Lena McDaniel. I got Jay Rojas wishing again Mana happy birthday. Let me see. Brad Wood is online saying crazy weekend. I hear that. This is one of those like Tuesday mornings where you look at your phone, all the pictures that you took on over the weekend, and go, "Oh my God, I can't believe I did that. Oh my God, the police weren't called. How is that even possible?" Kenneth Polino online. Let me see. Colin Clark saying, who else is there? Bob and Connie Bartonico, former Governor Carl T.C. Gutierrez.
Just bring it back to sunshine
He checked in with me over the weekend. Tell me how great things were in the hospitality industry. Thanks to him and Jerry Perez and the incredible staff that they've got over at the Guam Visitors Bureau. Let me see. Met up with the commanding. I got pictures of this. Met up with the commanding officer of the hospital ship that is in town. That's nice. There is. He sent me video of.
Was that the USS Mercy?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And I think I saw the guy. I think he was having dinner with Diane at Moses last night. All right. So this is someone from. Wait. Wow, where's this? I'm looking for a post that he sent to me about news out of Taiwan, where they're planning to waive quarantine requirements in the next couple of days. Now, that's also good because it means that people from Taiwan will be able to come to Guam, have a good time, goof off, get sunburned, and then go back to Taiwan without having to worry about any quarantining or anything like that. Pat Saho online. I see, let me see, Mark and Francis Ishmael there. Charles Craw. Good morning to Tim Zedeker. Jerome McDonald says, where America's day begins. Good morning at 93.3. Good to have you there. Brennan Fausto, Jigo Jarhead online. Lonnie Salas saying, good morning, Ray, Mana, Jose, Jerry, and the Point family. Feed my soul. It was a long weekend. Chech Uggan is hanging out here. April Flowers, Shelton, Buenos and Holiday to Stephen Klein, Jay Nauta, Johnson, Nicholas Perez, and now I gotta switch over. That was the desktop version of this. Now I gotta switch over to the handheld. Let me see. What name did I stop at? Matt Galendez, Brennan Fausto, Chet Uggan, NBC, Patty Cruz is online, Stephen Klein. There we go. And Jay Nauta, what I'm repeating names, Sabine Chargaloff is there. Marla Carbagidu is online. And Oliver Malaka saying good morning to everybody. Rita Kitachai, MJ Rages, Mark Cruz doing his wave, Joanne Fullerton is online. And remind me a little bit later on, Joanne, I've got a picture. I was lurking, Joanne, at the NAWIC party last Tuesday night over at Tower of London. And I ran into a lady, took a picture of her, and she says, you got to put it on the screen. Because my boss is Joanne Fullerton. And get that up there before too much longer. Luke S.N. Angel is there. Justin Estacchio, Cousin Troy online saying, good morning. Go and get some rest. I got a feeling it's going to be a long night. I got John Duenas, Eunice Mendiola, Mark and Francis. Isma Velez, I am Uthred, son of Uthred. Complete binged watch The Last Kingdom in Netflix. Wow. 2 thumbs up. I don't know where he found time to do all of that stuff because it was him and the entire family lurking at Mosa's last night, and so the guy comes up to me in like stealth mode. You can see their picture of me. Look at me in that picture.
He almost took your throat out.
Startled.
Right? Yeah.
Startled, like, oh my God, who's this big
from the ceiling?
SEAL team Top Gun guy behind me, right? And,
yes.
And sure enough, it was Ismail having a dinner time with the family, beautiful wife and the boys. Lucky man.
Shot, man.
6:33 in the morning. Absolutely, it's a great shot. So who else is playing around? $25. What? Ken Leon Guerrero already grousing about something. How can you tell a politician is lying? They add, quote, a sunset clause. They will ignore in increases, but rigidly enforce in tax reductions. Mercy Wenzel online. Ken, you can explain yourself on that in a little bit. Valerie S.A. Untalan says, anything for a vote. Giving out gas vouchers, provided you maintain your COVID shots. What a joke. Gas for jab program. Yes, what's wrong with this clown? Nora Mano is online. Carlene Harker saying good morning to everybody. Henry Menglotnia. Likewise, Dennis Larson says, note that's a sunset yesterday, Ray, not sunrise. Dude, they all kind of look the same. You know, sometimes at the point, you know, the colors just kind of blend in. Heather Perez, Leslie St. Nicholas, Johnny Martinez. I got Margaret Estacchio, William John Shadowin says, morning from Utah. Cold here, rain and snow in the forecast for you. Isn't that nice? Let me see. Rudy Rodolfo, the original Burger King online here this morning. Mike Grace Bloss says, welcome to Guam. Don't forget to go home. Jason Dink. Welcome to Guam. When are you leaving? Here's your hat. What's your hurry? Jason Dinkle is online. When is the next 3-day weekend? Is Sarita is asking. 4th of July, maybe? Do we have anything? I don't think that's for us, right? 4th of July is the next holiday for us. And I got to look in the calendar. I think it might be a Tuesday or something.
On a Monday.
Is it Monday?
That's what it says.
Oh,
here,
nice.
Sir.
Okay, groovy. So it is a 3-day weekend.
Yeah.
Nice. Post Canteen says, no winner on Friday. Now it's almost $3,000. It's $2,880 is the deal, and we still don't have a winner. That is amazing. If you got 4 booster shots, you definitely won a prize. Here's your sign. And Post says thanks to everybody for attending Memorial Day stuff. Greg Fausto, Pete Guerrero, Rick Leone hanging out here this morning, and thanks for the kudos. I appreciate that. I'm trying to get my mile times down. So I've been doing a whole lot of running, and the Garmin obviously keeps track of it and then tells Strava what I'm up to. Man. Yeah. Good, you're watching.
Everyone's watching on Strava.
But the truth of the matter is, that wasn't actually running. I was in the car at the time, so those might not reflect the actual reality of the situation. Colin Clark says, stream Top Gun of the worldwide internet. Cody James, got to be getting busy I was thinking about him the other day as I was watching a few planes, plural, coming into the Guam International Airport. Cody's got work today. That's great. Congratulations to you. Tattoo Sean is online here this morning. Elizabeth Mendiola Kitsitsu, Joe and Goko, Rose Pacini, and yeah, a bunch of other folks that are hanging out. Ismail, no, I'm sorry, Ismail. We don't have a Juneteenth celebration here on Guam or at the radio station. I'm trying to convince other people that maybe we ought to just have the whole Gov Guam lineup of holidays here at the radio station. So 4th of July, and then the Liberation festivities, and we got to talk about some of that with the who's doing everything. I want to find out what the big deals are and how we can all get lined up to go and celebrate the liberation of the island of Guam. 6:36 in the morning. Headlines on the way. And Ariola Sil, I want to make sure I get this name, and Joanne Bilibe and Juan Mafna, CT Guam, and others are checking out the feed. Do me a favor, hit the share button, hit the like button. Media has changed on Guam in the last 4 days. There's been at least one major change, and so we'd like to welcome as many new listeners here, or maybe listeners that were here and back and forth and whatever, but welcome to The Point. Great to have you around here. Like and follow on Facebook. We're also streaming the signal to YouTube Live for this morning and ThePOINT.gu. We'll check in on some of the lurkers on the YouTube side. And if you're wondering what the difference is, okay, so Facebook Live is like the living room / kitchen, and you're having a party, and everybody's talking, and a lot of different conversations going in a lot of different directions. And the YouTube side is more like the dirty kitchen in the back, or where the guys kind of we're barbecuing, the food's already gone inside.
Sailors talk free.
Yeah. There you can just we're all eating leftover chefs on the grill and drinking beer and talking about so-and-so's wife.
Double dipping the
Exactly. Double dipping in the Finideni. It's 6:37 in the morning. As I said, lots and lots to get to on the table of contents this morning, none of which is in my actual head this morning. So allow me, I've actually got to take a look at the deal here. Okay, Memorial Day weekend. Lots of here's the observance that I had over the weekend, and it was just kind of one of these random scenes where I saw a guy on a motorcycle with his lady. Hey, how about that? And there's a big American flag sticking out the back of it, and it just it all of a sudden hit me. You know what, bro, Mana? It's summer. It's summertime on Guam. This was a Memorial Day weekend, kind of a launch into it, and a lot of festivities, obviously aimed at Memorial Day, and obviously paying tribute and honor to those that have made the ultimate sacrifice for us. Thank you so very, very much, in liberating the island, among other things. But it was just kind of the idea that people were going to get on their hogs and strip on the old lady in the back and just go ride somewhere. Just go for a ride. I thought that was pretty kind of cool. Saw some of the guys on the bikes doing their ride around.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
Grinders.
Did you go?
No, I didn't, man. I couldn't.
You hung over from Top Gun?
Yeah.
Wow.
Couldn't wake up that morning, man.
Really?
Yeah, I woke up late.
Yesterday. You got to wake up.
And then when I woke
morning.
up, I was like, oh, I missed work. I freaked out for a second, and I was like, man.
Can I just tell you?
For me.
There was that moment of anxious attachment and anxiety when it got to be 4 o'clock, and I turned the alarm off, and when I woke up again, it was about 5 to 6, and I'm like, whoa, wait a second, it's Monday, and then I'm going, wait. It's Monday. It's a day off, and so I quickly rolled back to bed for another 5 or 10 minutes, and then got my day started that way. But yeah, I did have that moment. But welcome to the summer of 2022, and by all indications, it looks like it will be a summer that is closer to normalcy than we've had in the last 2 years.
Best summer ever.
It's going to be this. Yes,
I know.
Look, Top Gun is in the movie theaters. Top Gun is in the movie theaters, and shout outs to everybody that Top Gun back 36 years ago was your first date movie, and now you almost have to. It's like you got to go and complete the package. I actually know a couple of couples that is the case, but it also kind of a crazy weekend with all of the different things that were going on, and a viral video that went out with a dude doing his war chant over at the Paseo, smacking his machete against the sparking my God. It was, and you just go, where the hell are the police in this town?
Gunfight.
Yeah, brought a machete to a gunfight. right. And I don't know whose side was who. And the sounds of the little girl in the video that watched him take out a car windshield with the machete. You just get, at some point, you just got to say, okay, leaving. I'm going. And
but they weren't. There was nobody that was like running away because if I heard gunshots, I'd be like darting to the nearest.
Cameras out, man.
Everybody just kind of just stood around like
filming.
Where did that come from?
Or this is the most normal thing in the whole wide world.
It was the strangest thing to
learn a little
see.
bit more about that. We got the magistrate reports, and I think maybe that's going to be the quote of the day from the magistrate report, where the guy said, uttered the soon-to-be famous words, "Par, let me have that. I'll show you how it's done." Is the actual quote here from Evan Babauta Pangilinan, a.k.a. Defendant.
Wow.
Walked into Central Precinct Command to discuss the events of May 27th. He described that he almost got into a fight with 4 or 5 men unknown to him. He reported the unknown men began to bash his vehicle and other vehicles. Described that when one of the men swung a machete at him, a friend of his fired his weapon, 22 or a 9 into the air 3 or 4 times. Now, I'm not an expert, but I heard the gunshot video, and I don't think that was a 22. It did not make the pew-pew noise. No. It made more of the bang stick noise, right? Defendant admitted that he then stated, "Par, let me have that. I'll show you how it's done." He described asking his friend for the gun. Defendant's written statement reads, "I shot 1 round towards the backside of the car." Officer Putris noted that defendant does not have a firearms ID. He remarked, "I wasn't thinking straight. I should have just moved my truck. I wasn't thinking. I should have stayed home that night." Is what an appropriate statement to have made. So now I want to say, what's a kid, 21 years old, something like that, could go in.
Wow, that's a
could. This is Guam. He's going to run into a judge that's going to cry alongside him with for making poor life decisions. But that's I don't know what's eventually going to handle this.
He's 21 though. Was he charged with underage drinking?
Possession of a firearms without firearm ID code, criminal ID card, criminal mischief, reckless conduct, discharge of firearms, and account of disorderly conduct. I don't know that drinking might have been it. I mean, even if he had admitted to it, is that a charge that would be likely to stick, considering that the police don't actually have any evidence of him drinking while he was down there?
Only because I saw it in the Post. That was one of the things that he was charged with, underage drinking.
That's a no alcohol zone, though. You can't. So it's a no gun zone too.
It's no guns. It's no swinging.
But the machete was allowed.
Well, if you work at Parks and Rec. 6:43 in the morning, as I say, it's just one of those things where when my daughter said, "Okay, I'm going to go hang out with my friends," I'm like, "Not at Paseo, right? You're not going to go and hang out with friends at Paseo." Who did that? Who did that when you're looking at the video? Do you see your kids, your nieces, your nephews, grandkids? Anybody look around there to see if there were any of these kids that you know? What's happening
and
in
friends
town?
of our kids.
Man.
Yeah, I did.
Yes, exactly, right? 6:43, 6:44 in the morning. We're going to take a break for headlines and news. Montesilva Tire and Huff. What happened over the weekend?
Well, police say at least one man was arrested in connection with that shooting incident at Paseo this weekend. The 21-year-old man turned himself into the Southern Precinct. Evan Babauta Pangilinan charged with a number of firearms charges. The investigation underway. Not sure if more arrests will be made in connection with that. Senators are in session again today, but what is yet to be placed on the agenda is a bill that would allow for a land lease for the new 198-megawatt power plant. The placement of the bill was objected after it apparently didn't meet a notice period. The Speaker of the Legislature, however, maintains that there is no such notice period required. And another incentive being offered to get more people vaccinated and boosted, with a chance to give them a little more cash for gas. Individuals 12 years or older will be able to get $25 a voucher for gas or store items at the Shell gas station. And those are your headlines right here on The Point.
$25?
Yeah.
I mean, don't hurt yourself carrying the bag of money from the governor's office to the bank. Don't hurt yourself here. $25.
And I was like, can I take the voucher on base?
Yeah, right. Can I
get more bang for my buck?
6:45 in the morning. Okay, here's the latest in the Ray Gibson teledrama about gas. So I've said many times, I've got a hard limit on gas per month, $150. And the other day I'm looking at the gas. I told you about this, and it was like going to be zero here very, very soon. And so because I've got one of those cars that's got a smart gas tank on it, right? And it was making its way towards zero. So I said, said, you know what, $25 ought to do it. I'll put $25 in, I'll just take it out of my air conditioning budget, put $25 into the gasoline tank on the car, and that should last me until the beginning of a new month, where I start my budget all over again. And it didn't. That lasted from Thursday or Friday morning, Friday night, Saturday, Sunday, and yesterday I had to put another $20 in the tank.
Mr. Stroll Patrol.
And so what that doesn't even get me 4 gallons. That doesn't even get me 4 gallons of gas. I mean, I don't know if I can mow the yard on what I put into the gas tank. It is really, really getting bad, and I don't want to be the guy that tells you it's going to get worse. But I got to be the guy that tells you it's going to get worse. The number on Tapas, are you ready for this, ladies and gentlemen? It's going to hurt. It's going to hurt. I wish there was a lubricant that I can give you here to make this, to relieve the pain. It is now $122.12. It's right there at the bottom of your screen. $122.12, up $3.75. That price hit us on Friday, Saturday, is when that new price, that new figure goes into effect. It is now 3 days stale, and I don't know what has happened with that. Now, if you look over, there's a gas gauge on the right-hand side of the screen, and that will show you where West Texas is now, $117.17. This time last week it was $111. Yeah. So it's 117 and climbing.
Brace.
Tapas crude 122, and the trend is definitely up. If it follows the arc that West Texas is on, we're going to see another hike in Tapas crude here.
7 by summer, Ray.
It's already summer. It's 6:20, and we're already in it right now. So there's your frowny face Tuesday morning moment here, looking at the price of Tapas crude now at $122.12, and it is probably going to be going up over the next couple of days. It would not surprise me at all if we started seeing people posting pictures on social media of new higher prices over at the gas pump. Yes, brace. Let's go, Brandon. It's 6:48. I'll be right back.
Everyone has a busy schedule these days, and sometimes we forget to schedule our routine dental checkup and cleaning. Don't neglect your dental health. Schedule one today with Dr. Robert Yang and his Smile Team, conveniently located at the East West Business Center on Marine Drive, Upper Tumon. Call us today at 647-8702 or 3. Again, that's 647-8702 or 647-8703. We make smiles happen.
Go green, go hybrid. Go to Nanbo Insurance, and your next power bill is on us. Insure your hybrid car at Nanbo and get up to $350 towards your next power bill. That's instant savings for keeping our island clean and green. Nanbo has been providing Guam with over 50 years of reliable and affordable auto insurance. At Nanbo, it pays to go green. Terms and conditions apply. Visit nanbo.com or call 477-9754 for details.
Get big discounts on huge travel experiences with the First Hawaiian Bank United Credit Card. You can travel to destinations in the USA and receive 10% off selected United Airlines Premium Economy or Business Class airfares purchased through May 31st, 2022. When you use promo code FHB022, visit any First Hawaiian Bank branch or to fhb.com/UnitedFairSale10 for more information. Don't wait. Apply today. First Hawaiian Bank. It all starts with yes.
An interesting line of questioning from Peter Santos here this morning, and not necessarily on the chat. It's on the WhatsApp to the radio station. He's asking about the hottest protectors on Guam, and apparently his vote is for Denancy security. Is it because it's Denancy? Am I just now getting that? Is Denancy security because they're so hot? Because there was that one VSO. You remember at the beginning of COVID? Yes. She went to Top Gun VSO school. Congratulations. Now I don't. Is there a way that I can ask this Top Gun question and not be spoiled, and not have a spoiler alert? The question is, how do they explain the fact that Tom Cruise is a senior citizen in one of these high-end, top-of-the-line, space-age jet fighter? Did they broach it? I mean,
no.
How old is he in the movie? I mean,
he's 60.
Yeah, that's my point here. I don't know. Are there any guys? He's
got people up high.
Yeah,
batting for him. That's all I'll say.
Is Viper still alive? Are there cameos? Are there cool cameos that I should look out for?
Yes, sir.
What about the girl? Does she come back?
No, I didn't. Got another love interest.
Oh, okay, all right. Yeah. The one played by what's her name?
So hot too. Jennifer Connelly.
Oh no!
Yes.
No way, really? I'll fight him for her.
I'm sorry, man. I had to let that one
that's
out.
dreams. That's dreams come true stuff right there. 6:51 and change. Ray Gibson Show. And I was supposed to do traffic, right? Are we moving
Roger
in that
that,
direction?
sir.
Thank you very much. All right, here comes Top Gun traffic here on the point here this morning. It's what's it look like? Anderson Air Force Base. You're supposed. I'm sorry. I'm just wondering. Were there military guys in there going, man? I should have gone flight. I should have gone to flight. All right. Let me see. A little bit of traffic up at Anderson Air Force Base where they did go to flight. Don't see too much happening southbound Marine Corps Drive as we make our way into the day-to-do area. Not a whole lot happening over there. It's running fairly quiet at the intersection of 1 and Wysang 1 and 3. Just a tiny bit busy here. A little bit busier than normal this morning. Seeing a little bit of traffic over at the Infusion. Harmon Loop style. Otherwise, it's just intersection traffic, and not even a whole lot of that as you make your way into the downtown Hagutnia area. Let me see. Navy Hospital. Looks like we got a little bit of traffic up on that particular roadway. And then there's a little bit of traffic over at Big Navy in Sumai. There's going to be more of that kind of thing. I zoom in here, if I can, on a chunk of roadway that they are going to start working on here in the next few days. Got a note, I got a blurb from the guys over at DPW that said that they are going to be doing a ribbon breaking tomorrow. A ribbon cutting ceremony. That they're going to be doing tomorrow, and it's going to be in the afternoon, so I don't think it's going to be one of those where they're going to be blocking traffic on a major highway. The Department of Public Works will be hosting a groundbreaking ceremony for Route 5 and a portion of Route 12, reconstruction and widening. That's 2 Alpha to Naval Magazine and Route 12 they're going to do that tomorrow at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, Route 5, right across from the Opera Palms housing. Opera Palms housing. Did you ever live there at the Opera Palms housing? Yes. Nice. It's one of those places where they got a really nice playground you can't take your kids to.
Yeah.
At least I think. The project involves the rehabilitation and widening of Route 5 from Route 2 Alpha to the Route 5 and Route 17 Cross Island Road intersection. A minimum of 2 11-foot lanes with a 4-foot paved shoulder and 2-foot graded shoulder will be constructed in that area. Project scope. Let me see. Do I have dates here? Don't have any dates other than the ribbon cutting that they're going to be doing. I know that there's some residents in that area that have been literally clamoring for decades to get that one section of roadway rehabilitated. I mean, just make it nice like everything else, because it's a piece of junk. You'll lose your fillings if you hit a pothole the wrong way. So I'm glad that they are getting that work, or at least going to be doing the groundbreaking on that tomorrow. That's all the time I got for traffic here on The Point.
Win a $100 gas card when you purchase Gasolina energy drinks. Be one of 5 winners and enter now when you purchase 3 for $4 Gasolina 8-ounce or 3 for $5 Gasolina 16-ounce energy drinks. Drawing on June 21st. Free gas with 76 Circle K. Take it easy. Ice, baby. Get a 10-pound bag of ice for only 95 cents when you purchase a 12-pack or more of any soda or beer. Only 95 cents for a 10-pound bag of ice. Swing by Circle K today. Some conditions apply. See stores for details. Circle K. Take it easy. Ice, ice.
Are you looking for a new place to hang out with your friends? Let's go along the sidelines at Sidelines Bar and Grill. Located at 154 Iriarte Road, Unit 4 and 5 in Tamuning behind Royal Bigs. Sidelines, a hidden gem with nothing but great things to offer. Great atmosphere, great food, top shelf drinks, and a great team. What are we waiting for? Let the fun begin at Sidelines Bar and Grill. Open daily from 3 p.m. to 2 a.m. See you there.
Let's go there. It's cafeteria spaghetti. Don't take the kids to eat this cafeteria spaghetti. I know somebody that did, and is, you got to try this, got to try this. And the thing is, it's like apparently they don't do spaghetti like they did in the old days in the schools. So the kids kind of turned up their nose at it. Said, "Where's that ribeye? Where's that ribeye that you talked us out of?" 888-8255-888-TALK is the telephone number at 655. Let me sell you a new car. Do not. I repeat. Everybody's thinking summertime, baby. I need a new ride to show off when I'm driving down to the Liberation festivities, the big carnival. Don't say carnival, Ray, because we're not doing one, but a parade. You want to show up at the parade and something nice. All right, get yourself a nice new Nissan automobile. Great thing about these things, super mileage, a whole bunch of them that get better than 30 miles to the gallon. And at $6.20 and climbing a price for a gallon of gasoline, it makes a whole lot of sense. I'll give you an example, right? So Saturday is my hiking day. And I was waiting for my friends to tell me where we were going to buddy up. And about 2:30 in the afternoon, I get a note. Says, okay, we're going to go and hike the mountains in Molesso. And I said, I'll catch you next week. Let me know when we can do some hiking. I don't know, in the Mongtotomaiti area. I don't know, at Ganya Springs. Can we get there? Because I can punch into a hole in a jungle and be in a Ganya Springs in about 10 minutes from where I live. Can we do something like that? Because Molesso, it's a long time on the road. But if you got to be stuck on a road, be stuck on a road in a great car like the Nissan Sentra, gets 35 miles to a gallon of gas. Obviously, your mileage is going to vary, but take a test drive before you buy anything else at NissanGuam.com.
Bringing you closer to the action. Any speaker, anytime. Watch and listen live on ThePOINT.GU.
6:56 in the morning, and hardly enough time here to spin anything else. We've been yakking about pretty much nothing for the last 55 minutes. Don't worry, the next 3 hours, I promise, will be of some kind of substance, something that you'll take away and say, man, did you hear what Ray Gibson said on the radio on The Ray Gibson Show on 93.3? But one of the things we were talking about, as I said, me and my buddy talking about going to Manila, and Carl Gutierrez telling me that things are opening up, and Japan Airlines now flying between here and there, United now flying between here and there. But still in all, I'm not that interested in traveling. Can I give you an indication? One of the pieces of news that came out over the weekend, I guarantee we know somebody that got stuck in this. Hundreds of flights canceled across the country. In what is arguably one of the summer's busiest traveling days. Memorial Day, it's a big weekend for a lot of people. They're still celebrating it in the States, but many people celebrating in airports. Because I'm not even sure why all of those planes got canceled. I mean, what did we do? Couldn't fly them in the wintertime because it was winter, and now it's summertime, and we can't seem to fly them then. Are we having a hard time getting crews on the ground to service them? Fuel for the airplanes, flight attendants, pilots, what the heck is going on? And why were so many, again, in the hundreds of flights canceled? Can you imagine the frustration? Can you imagine the airport drama of hundreds of Karens going up to the counter asking, may I see your supervisor? Can you get me rebooked on this? Can I get a refund? Can I get mileage? Whatever it is. All of these lines of people being dramatic over at the airports. I don't need that in my life. So I'm glad that the distance, the furthest I drove over the weekend might have been getting to the PD area on Sunday yesterday. That was it. I don't want to go any place right now. And then you've got this. I want to say that this was taken over the backyard over at Dennis Larson's place. There's an airplane up in the sky. This one we need audio on because it's making a strange noise. What the heck is that noise? Is that a noise that you want to hear coming to you're flying in the airplane? And you're sitting back in the chair and you're trying to remember because your life could depend on it. What was that thing that the lady was saying in the beginning of the lady in the front? Go ahead and play the audio again. What is that sound? I don't think airplane engines are supposed to make that noise. So Cody, as soon as I got this video and the audio that's attached to it, I thought maybe this is something that Cody James might know about over at the place. Cody, if you've got any intel on that, like, don't worry, it's okay, don't panic. Airplanes make that noise all the time. You just have never heard it because you're always inside with your headphones on, making time with the flight attendant. Okay, gotcha. On the other hand, if that thing just kind of went and circled back around and nobody noticed, I'd like to hear about that as well. 7 o'clock in the morning, KUSG, I got you. This is The Point.
Holiday Holiday travel feeling a lot like before the pandemic. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. Record gas prices not stopping a holiday rush this Memorial weekend. Demand for air travel is high, too.
Do your homework. Go on the airport's website. Check with your destination before you get to the airport.
Miami International spokesman Jack Ella also recommends getting to the airport at least 3 hours for a domestic flight and be prepared to spend more.
Airfares are expensive. Part of that's due to COVID and crew shortages, but a lot of it is due to more expensive jet fuel. So it's not just pay at the pump. It's what the airlines pay to fly you around.
Fox's Phil Keating. The TSA screening more than 6 million people since Friday. Thousands of flights have been canceled, though, blamed on weather and staffing issues. President Biden paying tribute to all who've died serving our country.
Still today, we are free because they were brave.
He's urging a daily commitment in the nation to be worthy of that sacrifice before the speech, telling reporters he's hoping for bipartisan progress on gun restrictions. Just days after the deadly mass shooting at a Texas school, 2 arrests in Florida for suspected threats against schools stemming from social media posts.
Hillsborough County deputies arrested 18-year-old Corey Anderson and charged him with making a written or electronic threat to conduct a mass shooting. He was later released on bond. The post Anderson sent out showed him with guns and a protective vest, seeking directions to a school. The guns were determined to be airsoft guns, toys commonly used in training or recreational activities. Sheriff Chad Chronister called the post a sick joke. The recent deadly mass shootings in Uvalde, Texas and Buffalo, New York were both committed by 18-year-old males.
Fox's Gernal Scott in Lee County, Florida, a 10-year-old fifth grader arrested, also accused of threatening to shoot up a school. America is listening to Fox News.
On March 4th, Guam Homeland Security sent an advisory warning about Russian cyber attacks and recommended Guam organizations strengthen their cybersecurity postures. You might think your small business isn't at risk, but as businesses use more cloud and web-based tools, they're exposed to cyber attacks designed to snare victims of any size. Keep your organization protected with GTA's multi-threat security bundle. Visit gta.net or call 671-644-1000 for face today.
What's for breakfast at KFC under $3.95, you ask? What's for breakfast at KFC that's different than the other guys, you ask? KFC's chicken wrap, sausage wrap, the Colonel's chicken congee, chicken fried steak, sausage biscuit and gravy, and biscuit sandwiches made with KFC's original fluffy biscuits. All for under $3.95 and all only at KFC. Plus, with waffles and the Colonel's chicken fried rice, we've got something for everyone.
So visit KFC for breakfast today. It's finger-licking good.
One person is dead, another missing after a boat capsized at a state park in Colorado yesterday.
Colorado wildlife and park officials say they responded to reports of a capsized boat at Lake Pueblo with 13 victims Sunday in 60-degree water. 8 juveniles and 3 adults were taken to hospitals, but the body of one person was found. And State Parks and Wildlife spokesman Travis Duncan said they searched through the night for a missing man.
Yeah, as far as we know, it wasn't necessarily the amount of folks out. It was just the high winds that we had today here at Lake Pueblo State Park that caused the accident.
One child was taken by air to a hospital. He said likely due to hypothermia. And while officials said they would continue their search, Monday they said they had to push it off due to continuing high winds. Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
The deadly collision of 2 boats remains under investigation near Savannah, Georgia, but one man is charged with boating under the influence. 5 people were killed, including 4 members of one family. Police in Tennessee say everyone injured during a shootout in Chattanooga is a teenager, 5 15-year-olds and a 13-year-old, 2 rival groups involved. Officers on patrol responding when they heard the gunfire Saturday night within walking distance of an area that's popular with tourists. There's no word yet, though, on what sparked the fight. A decisive Game 7 in hockey's playoffs tonight.
The last of 4 conference semifinals in the Stanley Cup playoffs will get completed later this evening. It's Game 7 in Raleigh, North Carolina, between the Carolina Hurricanes and the New York Rangers. Home ice advantage has proven a difference maker so far. The home team has won every game in the series. The Hurricanes, who have not won a single playoff game away from home this postseason, are 7-0 in Raleigh. The Rangers, who have dropped 3 games in the Tar Heel State this series, have won 4 games this postseason when facing elimination.
Fox's Jared Max. Tonight's winner will face the 2-time defending Stanley Cup champion Tampa Bay Lightning in the Eastern Conference Finals. Elisa Brady, this is Fox News.
Candid News Group and The Point present Platform 2022, the Gubernatorial Debate, hosted by Phil Leon Guerrero and Montesilva Tyron, May 31st at 5:30 everywhere. Live streamed on Candid, live on 93.3 ThePOINT.GU, Facebook, former Governor Felix P. Camacho, Congressman Mike Sinicolas, and Governor Lou Leon Guerrero.
Brought to you by the Committee to Re-elect Leon Guerrero Tenorio and by Linda's Diner.
JV International Safety Equipment has it all for you. Fall protection, rain gear, traffic signs, speed bumps, custom signs and banners, PPEs, fire extinguishers, plus more. Check them out on Facebook at JV International Safety Equipment Company or visit their website, www.jvisec.com. JV International Safety Equipment, Guam's leader in occupational and environmental safety equipment. Call 688-9524. JV International Safety Equipment, located in Harmon Industrial Park.
Hoffaday, this is Severina. Here at APL, our expertise and extensive network can help you grow your business and reach out to more global markets. As a responsible carrier, APL is also committed to a sustainable future, whether it's protecting the environment or investing our efforts in giving back to the community. Our dedicated teams in Guam, Saipan, and on U.S. mainland are here to support you. Call 588-4651 or visit www.apl.com.
Hoffaday at 7:06. I'm Montesilva Tyron with a look at your local news on The Point. Well, police are continuing their investigation into the shooting that took place on Saturday at the Paseo. A 21-year-old man was arrested. The shooting took place, was shared throughout social media, showing a man wielding a machete before shots were fired into the air. Guam police confirmed that 21-year-old Evan Babauta Panglinan turned himself into the Southern Precinct Command. According to the Guam Daily Post, he was booked and confined on a number of firearms charges to include carrying a firearm without a valid firearms identification and unlawfully discharging a firearm. The investigation continues and possibly more arrests may be made in connection with that. Well, more than $34.3 million has been awarded to cover 3,000 World War II survivors, as well as surviving children of those who perished during the Japanese occupation of Guam, according to the federal commission that processed the war claims from the years 2018 to 2022. The story is in the Guam Daily Post this morning. The Washington, D.C.-based Foreign Claims Settlement Commission said 3,200 war claims from Guam were adjudicated and awarded. Hundreds of applications were also denied based on a review of the commission's decision. A total amount of Guam's claims awarded is $34 million, according to the data the commission provided to the Guam Daily Post. The Guam World War II Loyalty Recognition Program is said to be closing in the near term. Meanwhile, Congressman Mike Sinicolas urged the Biden administration to ensure that Guam and other U.S. territories are included in plans to secure and update existing U.S. free trade agreements. Sinicolas, in a letter to President Joe Biden after the launch of Biden's Indo-Pacific Economic Framework initiative with U.S. allies. In that letter, Sinicolas strongly urging Guam, the Northern Mariana Islands, American Samoa, and the U.S. Virgin Islands be included in all future trade agreements, and particularly in the negotiations surrounding the IPEF. Sinicolas says that these are gateways to the Indo-Pacific region. He says, he adds that while our island is currently outside of the U.S. customs zone, enabling us to have duty-free status on imports, our exclusion from the U.S. free trade agreements inhibits us from being able to capitalize on favorable trade terms. He says mindful inclusion of Guam in free trade negotiations will enable us to capitalize on export-oriented opportunities while still maintaining our duty-free status. Well, more news right after this.
In celebration of our 33rd anniversary, BK's new Whopper Melts are here. Our Whopper Melts feature 2 slices of toasted bread layered with 2 Whopper Junior patties for a quarter pound of plain grilled beef, melty American cheese, caramelized onions, and stacker sauce. Whopper Melts now available in a spicy and bacony variation made for our big Whopper fans. Top off your meal with jalapeno cheddar bites and a refreshing Coca-Cola. Get your hands on the new Whopper Melts, now available for a limited time. BK, Tumon Bay, Aganya, Micronesia Mall, and the airport. BK your way.
When kids go back to school this school year, things should be a little bit more normal as the Department of Education plans to resume some of the student activities that have been placed on hold. Student organizations and other extracurricular activities will be more active next school year, they say, as the island returns to a more normal state. The school year, DOE says will let administrators, this school year rather, DOE let administrators in middle and high school students determine whether their school clubs and class councils would be meeting or be active. They have been mostly on hold because of the COVID pandemic. Another incentive looks to get more people vaccinated and boosted, and will also give them a little bit more cash for gas. The governor's office announced yesterday the program that would give $25 vouchers to residents who maintain their vaccination for COVID-19. It will be available for individuals 12 years of age and older. They can use a $25 voucher for gas at Shell gas stations. They can also use it for store items at participating gas stations. Gift cards, they say, will not be allowed for alcohol or tobacco. And those are your top stories here on The Point. Here's Ray with your weather.
I've already made the point. There's look, you just follow the people with the Quest card know how to do all of that kind of stuff to be able to turn this plastic thing into gas money and generators and maybe even ice. 7:11 in the morning. Did you say something about the weather? Let me see if I can get this. It's gonna be hot again today. Mostly sunny in the forecast. Highs near 88 degrees. Winds out of the east, 7 to 11 miles an hour. And that's just going to help blow some hot air around. Partly cloudy in the forecast. For tonight, overnight lows 78 degrees. The southeast winds 5 to 9 miles an hour, getting calmer after midnight or so. There's partly sunny in the forecast for tomorrow. Maybe a little bit cooler. Now, daytime highs tomorrow, regardless of whether there's more or less clouds in the sky, still going to be 88 degrees. With the heat index, plus 10, 98 degrees is what it's going to feel like today. We've got a 20% chance of rain. You get fingers crossed, right? Sunrise this morning was at 5:53. You saw some pictures from Pirates Cove during the news, and sunset tonight is going to be at 6:44. Color good last night, as it turns out. I thought it was going to be kind of weak, and then all of a sudden, bam, as sunsets do. What's the rule? Never turn your back on a Guam sunset. It's 7:12 in the morning on The Ray Gibson Show.
Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they will continue to be there for you in the years to come. Get a personal loan for that summer vacation or to pay off those long overdue bills. Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $3,900 by calling Family Finance in Hagåtña, now at the old Nanbo Insurance Building at 475-4545, Upper Tumon 647-5626, or in Dededo 633-4473. Family Finance, here to serve you.
Attention! Lolita Kamet is now with Hafaday Realty. She'll always be that hardworking and passionate real estate professional who is committed to helping you make a difference in your life and helping you achieve the American dream of home ownership. She also specializes in commercial leasing, land sales, local residential sales leasing, military and corporate relocation. So for all your real estate needs, call Lolita Kamet now with Hafaday Realty at 688-6743. That's 688-6743.
7:13 in the morning. Portions of the program brought to you by the guys over at American President Lines, APL. That is the headquarters of I want to say USS, because that's not right. It's CMACGM Herodot, where Carl Meyer is online. I think they're still in town before they go and take off and deliver some packages someplace else. And thank you very much again, Carl, for delivering the package of T-shirts to the morning show here.
Thank you
Everybody
so much.
got one.
Appreciate it. Thanks, man.
Nice shirts.
And then there's one for me, and there's one for Mana, and there's another one there for Jerry. I'll give him his in just a little bit. In the meantime, APL American President Lines, a global presence with a local home, brings you the show, as well as Ron and Kim over at Security Title. Going to be buying, selling in your future. Make sure there's no dark spots, no bad karma on the title. That's what they do at Security Title.
Rediscover talk radio here. Your FM News Talk Superstation. This is The Point.
Big time fancy music, spared no expense. Makes it sound more professional than anybody else on the radio. And it's great until I start talking. Welcome to the program. Excuse the mess, as I like to say. 7:14. Mana's going to take care of some more news around the bottom of the hour. Jerry Roberts coming in for the extra point. It's Tuesday. I feel I should point that out to you. Stop calling it Monday. It's Tuesday here on Guam. That means you get double the Jerry Roberts. You get him on the morning show here with the extra point. Then you also get him in today's Guam Daily Post with a column called The Work Zone. And today's title is Stop Trying to Win Arguments. That sounds like it should be on one of those 76 Circle K things, right? Stop trying to win arguments. And there's going to be some fluffy thing in there about how to get it done. Of course, anybody that's ever been in any kind of relationship knows that sometimes that's the fun of it. Get into the argument, and then we can get to the makeup stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Top Gun. Maverick, whatever. 7:15 in the morning. Where was I going to go? There were a couple other things I wanted to tell you about in this hour of the program. But a shout. Dubai.
What up, Dubai?
Somebody, I've got a note here on the thing that tells me where there are a lot of people listening to The Point, and there's at least one person that has got the stream playing in Dubai.
Oh,
and I'd like to ask. I don't know that Dubai is a big oil state out there in that part of the world. But there sure seems to be a whole lot of money. Can you send some in this direction? Because all of the news that we have in the world of high finance these days seems to be bad. We'll go over some of those right about now. Take a look at what happened in the markets at 7:15. S&P 500 closed 100 points in the green, 41.58. NASDAQ picked up 390. And 12,131 is where they ended up on their Friday. Dow Jones Industrial Average scores 575 points to close at 33,212. Let me see. FTSE's up by 14. The Nikkei's up by 587. Hopefully that's on news that they're going to be opening things up now a little bit more, opening up a little bit wider. I'm trying to figure out why. They're of course, it's a thing in that country, right? Where we're going to be prickly about just about everything here, just kind of tense. So, yeah, we're going to let tourists start coming back, but they're going to be in very specific numbers, and they're going to be some very specific rules on this. I don't know if you've heard about any of this, but they're talking about going in there, and you has to be, you can't go by yourself and just go, okay, I'm just going to be a tourist. I'm going to go hang out in Roppongi and Robot Show Shibuya and do all of that stuff. No. You've got to go in a group, and at any time that you are not actually in your hotel, then you have to be with the tour guide. You've got to be with somebody that is representing the company that you bought your tour package from.
Sounds like North Korea.
Yeah, I'm just kind of twitchy about this whole COVID thing, and I'm trying to figure out why. It's over. Everybody else is turning the corner, and most other countries are doing what they can to get tourists to start flying again. Let me see. Shanghai index up by 18. Even Shanghai and Beijing are opening things back up. They're loosening up all of the restrictions they had. Now that I don't know how many people died off as a result of the restrictions that they had that wouldn't let people leave their apartments to go buy food at places, and people actually ran out. The DAX picks up 113 points. Looking at the big winners on the NASDAQ here, just because it's interesting to me. Pinduoduo, Zscaler, Autodesk, Datadog, and Moderna round out the top five. Bottom five: Workday, Keurig, Dr. Pepper, Electronic Arts, Comcast Corporation, and Activision. Wonder what's going on with those guys in the gaming world. We'll take a look at that a little bit later on. On the commodities, got gold at $1,852.50, about $1.20 up. West Texas crude, $117.17. And like I said, you go back about 7 days, and that was $111.82. Is what it was on the 18th of May. And now here it is closing out the great month of May, $117. Not much better for Tappas crude. Tappas crude trading at $122.12, and that's up by like $3.80 some odd cents from when we looked at it just Friday last week. So brace is what we're saying. You got the telephone numbers. Don't be shy about using it. Are there any other deals that I want to look at? There's a Guam Daily Post article from a couple of days ago, and looked at that and says, well, that sounds like an awful lot like some of the things that have been coming out of my mouth these days. Says it's too expensive to live here. Families plan to relocate as focus shifts from COVID-19 to the high cost of living. Now, granted, a dollar is a dollar is a dollar, but there are places where that dollar is going to go a lot further than it is going to go here. Somebody was remarking about the high price of milk here on Guam, and I said, Well, there's no cows here. Of course, it's $15. You want good milk, it's got to be imported from someplace, and that's exactly what happens. And until we get around to coming up with some kind of cow place where we can milk the cows and get fresh today milk, I anticipate that there's nothing major going to be changing there. But yeah, a lot of people have decided to pick up and move someplace where the gasoline is cheaper, where we can buy milk cheaper, where we can buy meat cheaper. Went to the grocery store over the weekend. I needed coffee. And so I went to the store, picked up some coffee, needed some toilet paper, and I remember looking at the price for, I don't know, maybe a dozen rolls of TP, and it was $27. Yeah, I think it was $27 for toilet paper. Now I knew I shouldn't have bought toilet paper there, but it was closer than cost you less. So I picked up. What? Mana's looking at me going, you're crazy, right? No, I'm not. It was $20-some-odd for a bunch of rolls of toilet paper over at the Payless.
Was it one of those cases of?
It was big. It was about half of the thing. I don't like going any more than a couple of times a year to go buy the stuff. I'm still using what I bought when we started COVID. But it just occurred to me just how expensive those kinds of things are. Goodness. I bought it was a pound or so of ground beef.
I think this is when you start going toward the generic names.
Oh, definitely.
Generic toilet paper.
I don't know. They had
no-name Chinese brand
stuff. They're made out of bamboo. I'm kind of, I don't know about that. But I picked up a thing of ground beef, $9.99 for about a pound of ground beef these days. It almost made me want to go vegan. And I looked at the price of the vegetables, and they weren't all that much different for all of that stuff. 7:21 in the morning. Jerry Roberts nodding his head up and down, saying, "Yep, that's what life is like."
I was out last night, and I stopped by a store that I frequent. Often, and looking for a specific item.
All right.
And the item was $8 the last time it was in, and which was a couple of weeks ago.
How much is it now?
But I think it was about either $10.99, $10.59, $10.99.
Yeah.
Now you say to yourself, how much is oil really figuring into this, and how much is just maybe opportunism figuring into this?
I don't. I tend to think that there's a lot of guys that are living with narrow margins these days. But I also tend to think there might be some guys going, well, let's see what the upper limit on this is, and whatever the market will bear, that's what we're going to charge.
And the thing is those prices never come down. Doesn't matter what the oil price is tomorrow, those prices will never go back.
Because we now know where people's upper limits on the spend is going to be. And if, and the only thing that will change that is the old invisible hand, a little bit of competition, somebody else that says, all right, I'll be able to give Jerry Roberts his gizmo now for $8 and some, what it used to be before. But oil, definitely factoring all of that stuff in. I got a blurb from a friend of mine, does a lot of work shipping, wholesaling and shipping things into town. They got a note from one of their shipping companies that there's going to be another hike in the fuel surcharge, and for some destinations, for some destination ports in the area, the fuel surcharge is going to be 50%. Yeah. And that's on top of the price that they were charging for just the containers, which has gone through the roof in the last year. So yeah, I think there's a significant amount of the price hikes that we're seeing is brought on by oil. And if you live in the States where things aren't necessarily shipped in, but maybe somebody overland trucked it, maybe it came on a rail, maybe the prices are going to be cheaper for you there. I cannot fault anybody right now for kind of looking around and saying maybe there's someplace else that I can take my family in.
Particularly when the wages are better schools, better hospitals, and better wages. So when you couple all those things together, we're going to lose some people.
Unfortunately, I think we've lost some people already. Looking at a whole lot of Memorial Day pictures from people that would normally have done their Memorial Day here on Guam, but you start looking at your Facebook today, Memorial Weekend pictures are showing up from Guamanians that used to live here that now live in the States. I've got somewhere, and I'll figure it out where I put it while you're doing your extra point here, is I sent myself a link to it's one of these like calculator deals, where you plug in what you're making and it will tell you, relatively speaking, where you might be able to go and and get what your salary is going to what it translates to in other places, other states, other countries. See if I can put that up on the air. Just real quick, while we're talking about this, we're not the only people on Guam that are looking around and saying, "Wow, it's too pricey to live here. I'm not crazy about the politics here. Maybe it's time to move to someplace." And I've got yet another one of these stories where they show where people are moving to. The percentage change in population of U.S. cities with more than 50,000 people. Places like Georgetown, Texas, the population there up by 10%. Leander, Texas, up by 10%. Queen Creek in Arizona, 8.9%. The Census Bureau last week showed that Georgetown, Texas had the most growth from July 2020 to 21. Georgetown, Texas, 10.5, a rate that would double the population there in less than 7 years. The United States is spreading, U.S. is spreading out, heading south and west and creating new boom towns, tech hubs, and powerhouses. 6th fastest growing area, Fort Myers out in Florida. Casa Grande, Arizona. We've got Maricopa, Arizona, Northport, Florida, Spring Hill, Tennessee, Goodyear, Arizona, and Port Santa Lucia in Florida. So you can see where a lot of people are moving to. Largest numeric change was in San Antonio, Texas. They picked up 13,626 people that moved there.
There's websites, that, as you say, that are out there. I'll give you a couple of them that I've come across. Yeah. Numbeo, NUMBEO.com. Will calculate the difference in costs between one city to the next. You can compete. And AreaVibe.com is another one. AreaVibes.com with the other. And they compare a number of areas, weather, crime, education, jobs, housing,
green space, recreation,
it's just everything.
Health indexes of places. Yeah,
you can figure out, you can kind of calculate the number of places you think you might want to land, and then just maybe get on a plane and then drive to them.
Okay, so the two things for me that are conversation enders when I've ever had the conversation about moving someplace. I don't want to go where they have like rattlesnakes. Like venomous, whole lot of venomous things there.
That will about 2/3 of them right
sting you or bite you, and you'll die from that.
Ray, snakes are everywhere back there.
Okay, well, I just...
real snakes are bad. Now, not the stuff we have here. Real snakes back there.
I mean, around here, if I needed to, I'd pick one up with my hand and throw it someplace or kill it, dispatch it one way or the other. But I don't know, just a rattlesnake, copperheads, and things like that just sound like, you're just in the wrong spot, and you're just going to die, and that's all there is to it. And I don't want to live in a place where the houses are made predominantly of wood. I don't know why, but the idea that there is even a hint of a possibility that I could die in a fire.
Ray's going to stay.
Yeah,
because those two things are prevalent back there.
In most cases, yeah, unfortunately. They can put them up in about 10 minutes, these houses made of wood and paper. 7:27 in the morning. Jerry Roberts has got today's Extra Point, brought to you by First Hawaiian Bank. Jerry?
Maybe you made a big mistake. Maybe you lost a job. Maybe you blew a big project and your chances for that promotion now look dim. Maybe you think that whatever great things that you and others thought you were destined to do and create will now never happen because you've somehow been disqualified. Well, I'm here to tell you, you are absolutely wrong. However, it's going to require one thing of you, and I'll tell you what that is next on the Extra Point.
Get big discounts on huge travel experiences with the First Hawaiian Bank United Credit Card. You can travel to destinations in the USA and receive 10% off selected United Airlines Premium Economy or Business Class airfares purchased through May 31st, 2022 when you use promo code FHB022. Visit any First Hawaiian Bank branch or go to FHB.com/United Fair Sale 10 for more information. Don't wait. Apply today. First Hawaiian Bank. It all starts with yes.
We've all made mistakes. Many of us have made big plans, and for one reason or another, they stalled. Our hopes and dreams stalled with them. I've seen people, talented people, give up simply because they no longer believe they would see success happen for them. If I'm going to be completely honest with you, over the course of my years in the workplace, and that's a lot of years, I've had days when the thought struck me, hey, maybe I'm not meant to do what I'm doing. Maybe I'm supposed to do something else. Maybe I'm no longer qualified for this. If you're there right now, have been, or think you're heading for it, let me tell you, it's a horrible place for your mind to be. Confidence and self-esteem, gone. You don't trust your abilities and instincts any longer. You walk around with a negative attitude, and quite possibly you're thinking about just walking away from a job or a business, maybe walking away from people. Is this beginning to feel personal? Have you ever thought to yourself that life has dealt you a bad hand and you're somehow disqualified from success? Are you disqualified? Let me tell you, the answer to that can be yes, but only with your permission. Let me be clear. Nobody can disqualify you. Only you can do that for yourself. And the only way you do that is to quit, to give up. I believe there is greatness in everybody. Your greatness may be in a totally different area from your family and your friends and your coworkers, and that's okay. It's still in there. I regularly tell my son that he has greatness inside of him. He's not sure what he wants to do with his career, and I tell him he'll figure it out eventually, but whatever it is, he's got the talent and drive to make a difference. Now, are you unsure of your direction? Perhaps you need to sit down and think about your dreams. Are they still what you want, or could you chart another course? On the other hand, you may be closer to realizing your existing dreams than you believe. You might be a phone call, a meeting, or a project away from a key turning point. That said, if you operate from a viewpoint that your dream is far away, so far away, or you're not ready, or you've somehow been disqualified, your actions are going to reflect that. You won't feel the urgency to get things done. You don't make progress, and the dream stays out there somewhere beyond your reach. Maybe your dream will happen here in Guam, or as we're talking about, maybe you'll find it somewhere else, or it could be both. In any event, you keep your dreams alive by first believing you can achieve them, and second, by putting together a written plan and making a little bit of progress every day. If you need knowledge and skills, get them. If you need a mentor, get one. When you believe and when you're fully committed, you'll do what you need to do to get where you want to go. You are a decision away. Decide to make that plan and reread the one you have. And finally, ultimately, totally commit to it. You are qualified, or you soon can be. Believe it and get after it. That's the Extra Point. For 93.3, The Ray Gibson Show and First Hawaiian Bank, I'm Jerry Roberts.
Thanks, Jerry. Another good one out of the park and the Extra Point here this morning. Don't forget, there's another Jerry Roberts, The Work Zone in the Guam Daily Post, which is entitled Stop Trying to Win Arguments. Yes, and there's a bit that we could probably do for another 4 or 5 minutes on just that one there. A thought that's in my head. I was talking out loud about what's his name, Tom Cruise and Top Gun Maverick, which is in the movie theaters right now. May be a world record breaker here. They're looking
certainly for him. It was.
Well, yeah. They're looking at the numbers that they're making. Still Memorial Day weekend back in the mainland on the zillions of screens that it's open, and they're hoping that it will surpass Pirates of the Caribbean: Worlds Apart, which is the record holder for Memorial Day weekends. So we'll see what happens on that one. But a thought or two about these. In real life, he's 59 years old. And 59 years old, and now playing with the boys in a movie called Top Gun. If he was on Guam, he could stand in the senior citizen line with me. And maybe a thought or two on older folks in their 50s, in their 60s, kind of returning to the workforce, if you will. Is it done? Is that something that more businesses ought to be looking at and saying, take your chances on some of these younger guys, but they're a bunch of old farts that still have got the old school work ethic, the old school charge that maybe you don't want to have to drill into the new guys.
Well, not just the old school. That's certainly important, but they've also been there and done that. They've seen tough times.
Yeah.
They haven't run from them. So if you're in a crunch and you're having your own issues, you hire somebody with that kind of experience, chances are they'll stand with you.
Jerry Roberts in the Extra Point, here again brought to you by First Hawaiian Bank. No word yet. I have not had a chance to plug into my FHB.com here this morning, but they went through this whole core upgrade. And nice guys, they sent out a couple of blurbs over the weekend, one that said, make sure that your app is up to date. So I did that. And then they told me that there were going to be parts of the FHB.com that I wasn't going to be able to use yesterday. So if there's anybody that I owe money to, this is going to be my excuse this week. Gee, I tried to send you money, but FHB.com was not online at that particular time. So you're going to have to wait until next month like everybody else. 7:33 in the morning, Montesilva Tyrant has got to look at all the big news and headlines that's going to be taking place. It is the end of the month here for Burger King. I don't know what that means for the melt, but it means that they've got some big coming up in June. I think we have the required number of days in June for an I Love the Whopper Wednesdays. More on that in a little bit. Also being brought to you by Lolita Cammett from over at Hoffaday Realty, working with just a huge bunch of professionals there to make your real estate dreams come true. It's like Lolita magic. Find out all about it. 7:34 now, and news and headlines with Montesilva Tyrant. Avamano, what happened?
At least one person was arrested in connection with that shooting incident that took place at Paseo on Saturday night. A 21-year-old man turned himself in to the Southern Precinct. He's identified as Evan Babauta Pangilinan. He was charged with a number of charges to include firearms. The investigation's underway. Not sure yet if more arrests will be made. Agate residents will have to pick up their mail in Agano with the Agate post office closed due to some structural problems. The temporary closure announced over the weekend as there were some safety issues that were identified, including mold and wood rot to a leaky roof. And at least 2 years have passed with no flights to Guam, but Japan Airlines this weekend said that they will be resuming their flights between Guam and Narita in August. JAL will also operate limited flights between Narita and Guam in September, but its Guam flight schedule has not yet been decided. And those are your headlines right here on The Point.
Thanks very much. 7:35, we'll get more on that with former Governor Carl T.C. Gutierrez in the next 45 minutes or so. But the other big travel headline, and my phone keeps blowing up with things like this, half-term travelers struggle as flights are canceled and road delays are expected. Now, this comes from, where is this, The Guardian. It says passengers at Gatwick express frustrations as airports and airlines appear to blame each other for the chaos. Travelers hoping to enjoy a half-term getaway have continued to be hit by canceled and overbooked flights. Passengers stranded at Gatwick have expressed their anger after EasyJet canceled more than 200 flights from that airport with almost no notice whatsoever. During one of the year's busiest travel periods, TUI also axed a number of flights, and the budget Spanish airline Vueling has been flooded with complaints from passengers that got bumped off from flights that were overbooked. Airport and airlines appear to blame each other for the cancellations. Mark McKinnon, the London correspondent for the Globe and Mail, was among dozens of passengers who complained to Vueling after they were prevented from boarding a flight. We were booted off VY7833 and are now sitting in Gatwick waiting for somebody to tell us how we're going to get to Barcelona today. Well, I think the answer is you ain't going to Barcelona. Here's your money back and go ride the big Ferris wheel in town. He told The Guardian, people are being bumped off all over the place. I've been covering Ukraine, so this isn't hardship, but the disorganization in Gatwick is spectacular. Selling 27 extra seats on a midterm break flight to Barcelona feels like a scam. Amanda Ferguson, a stranded passenger, said the scenes at the airport on Monday morning were crazy after the flight to Belfast that she and her boyfriend had booked was canceled. The couple who traveled to London to see an ABBA concert on Friday have been forced to return home via Glasgow. Can you imagine? So it's not just in the United States. I mean, in the States, the headlines were touting the cancellations in the hundreds that were taking place. As I said, if it's not you, you know somebody that is going through a travel hardship nightmare that they were not expecting. It's 7:37 in the morning. More on that, and we got Pika's favorite mayor checking in with us in just a little bit.
Yes, sir.
Right on. Got a number here for you from Colin Clark. Colin's one of the guys that keeps track of what's happening in the world of gasoline prices on base. So we know it's $6.20 here off base and probably going to be going higher. On base right now, $4.60. 467 for a gallon of unleaded. They've got a mid-grade there at $5.12 and premium $5.41. So their premium getting closer to what our regular is looking like. If you want to make that comparison, numbers should have changed on Saturday if they were going to change at all. My guess is we're going to see some changes here in the next couple of days now that we've got gas. Tapas crude trading at $122.17. 7:38. Ray Gibson Show continues after these.
Check out the newest hydro and garden center to hit Guam, Crop King Hydro. We have a huge selection of plant nutrients, soils, hydroponic mediums, organic pest control pumps, plant support, tools, and so much more. Call 635-4769. 635-GROW. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 6 at the Dededo Satina Mall, right across from Payless and Paradise Fitness. For whatever you grow, think Crop King Hydro. Crop King Hydro.
Win a $100 gas card when you purchase Gasolina energy drinks. Be one of 5 winners and enter now when you purchase 3 for $4 Gasolina 8-ounce or 3 for $5 Gasolina 16-ounce energy drinks. Drawing on June 21st. Free gas with 76 Circle K. Take it easy. Ice, baby. Get a 10-pound bag of ice for only 95 cents when you purchase a 12-pack or more of any soda or beer. Only 95 cents for a 10-pound bag of ice. Swing by Circle K today. Some conditions apply. See stores for details. Circle K. Take it easy. Ice, ice, baby.
I'm looking something up. Wait. What I'm looking for here is connections that we'd need to make if we were to relocate. And I'm not saying I am. But if I was to relocate, my choices are to go someplace where there's tomorrows, or go someplace where there's none whatsoever. And just start completely all over again. Do you know anybody around here? Nope. Don't know anybody. That last name's not familiar to me whatsoever. And just go someplace and be completely unknown, fresh, and new. Those are the choices. But because we were talking about places where you can where the populations have gone up: San Antonio, Texas; Phoenix, Arizona; Fort Worth, Texas; Port Santa Lucia in Florida; and North Las Vegas.
Ow.
North Las Vegas. Now,
tomorrow's in all of those areas.
there are tomorrows everywhere in all of these places. But no, okay. But if you had to pick from among these places,
Same again. What were they?
San Antonio, Texas. There's Phoenix, Arizona; Fort Worth, Texas; Port Santa Lucia in Florida; and North Las Vegas. Now,
I would say Florida, maybe.
Florida?
Yeah. Because it's closer to the beach.
There's also that. And there's North Las Vegas, which is all beach. It's all sand.
There's no beach.
There's this desert. What's the name of that the dam they've got there? Hoover Dam. Mm-hmm. Or is it one of those things? But anyway, so
it's a Hoover, but there's no beach. I want the beach.
Okay, but I'm thinking North Las Vegas. So what I was looking for was I wanted to see Google for Guamanians in North Las Vegas. It did not give me that.
There are Underwoods in Las Vegas.
It gave me Guamanian food in
Auntie
in
Ginger's
Vegas.
in Las Vegas.
That's right. Dave Eckert is in Vegas. Henry Gonzalez out in Vegas. All right, there's the Las Vegas Karaoke and Bar. Oh, wait, no, that's here. Why is it giving... I'm asking for Guamanian
Vegas
food.
World. Antigua.
Well, that's why, because I'm asking for Guamanian food, Las Vegas. So they're like, yeah, fundraiser, Vegas. But it also gave me Sakura Kitchen and Sushi Rock in again. All right, maybe I got to figure out another way to do my inquiry
But
on
I
Google.
think there is a Chamorro restaurant in Las Vegas.
Top 10.
Or a food truck, maybe.
I've got top 10 best
rice.
Chamorro foods in Las Vegas as of May of this year. Now, this is going to take me to the Yelp site. We've got Grinds, Tedamax, and then there's Ame Omakase. There's actually a place called Red Rice.
Yeah,
there's Red
I've
Rice.
Heard of Red Rice.
There's Tunu Fix that they've got out there, which is apparently some kind of a food
That's our
truck.
Dededo guys, Tunu?
Could be. But there we go. There's the picture of what we got over at the Red Rice. And it looks like any 1 or 2 or 3 plate specials that you can get over at Chamorro Village. And there's the offering from Tunu Fix, which is a food truck out there. So, all right, those are the answers to our questions about food, Guamanian food that you can find in the Las Vegas area. If that's where you're moving to, you just need to have, there's got to be some kind of direct connection between a Donny plant here on Guam.
They have snakes.
I'm sure there's snakes.
Rattlesnakes. And scorpions.
Somebody on Facebook saying that we've got our 2-legged snake variety around here. 7:42 in the morning. All right, time to take that look at traffic that was supposed to be doing a second ago. All right, we'll start down at Big Navy and Sumai. A little bit of traffic through there. Looks like we might have some traffic in the PD area as traffic, southbound traffic, heading in that direction. A little bit of traffic up on the Nimitz side. Seeing some traffic on Route 4 on the way into the downtown Agatna area. don't see anything major. In downtown, don't see a whole lot happening on Route 8, so I'm going to not editorialize on that here this morning. A little bit of traffic at 10 and 15. Northbound traffic, almost non-existent, but you are going to find some southbound traffic. And Marine Corps Drive headed to Waisang Song. Nothing crazy happening there. It looks like we've got a little bit of traffic over by Ukadu, which is weird because there should not be any Ukadu going on right now. It's summertime here on Guam. 1 and 3 looking a little bit busy. It's joining up some traffic over Guam Regional Medical City, but otherwise, Upper Tumon traffic should be fairly smooth as you make your way into town here today. It's 7:43 on The Point.
$15 might not get you that far, but Chili's is bucking the trend with $15 meal deals. At Chili's, $15 gives you not 1, not 2, but 3-course meal deals complete with a drink, a starter, and an entree. Mix and match 3-course meals 15 ways to Sunday with soup, salad, or chips and salsa to start, and ranchero chicken tacos, honey chipotle crispers with rice, bacon ranch quesadillas, or personal fajitas for the main course. Build your own $15 meal deal at Chili's. More life and great value happen here.
Kings Guam World Tennis Tour, presented by GTA, is bringing international tennis back to Guam. 4 weeks of international play will swing into action with 2 weeks of juniors, followed by 2 weeks of pros, May the 15th through June 12th. The Guam National Tennis Federation will host world-ranked players who will be coming to Guam from all over the world. Netters will compete for ranking points and cash to improve their position among the world's best. Matches will be played daily at the Guam National Tennis Center in Harmon, starting May 15th through June 12th. Special thanks to our platinum sponsors, Dimension System, New Gen, American Medical Center, and Morico Equipment.
7:44, Ray Gibson Show. There's another thought that just, what, you okay in there?
Sorry, man.
That's cool. It's cool. I just, I was just thinking about out loud about stuff and the idea that there are people that just cannot afford to live here anymore. Even with the Programan Salopi. Even with the war claim, even with all of that free money that's floating around, it's still too expensive to live on Guam. Where do you go? As Mana said, virtually every city that I've named, she says they're all over the place. And you're gonna find Guamanians everywhere out in the States, the vast diaspora. But I'm kind of curious, and maybe it's one of those things that I'd ask on Facebook of all of the the followers that I've got that are now living in the States. What do you miss most about Guam? You know what I mean? I mean, there's got to be a thing that you just go, wow, I wish I could do that again. In my head, there's a view. You're going up Yamatic Hill. You got the Fort Soledad's over here, off to the right, and then you go down the hill, and just before you get to Billy Bay, you look out across the ocean, and there's beautiful Cocos Island over there. You cannot duplicate that. No. There's not. I think I'd miss the sunsets here. I know I'd miss the sunrise. Certainly the people. Let me get this. Speaking of people, Pika's best. Pika's favorite mayor on Guam is on the line with me right now. Jess Allig. Good morning, Mr. Mayor. If you were forced to exile from Guam for whatever reason, what would you think? What do you think you'd miss the most? And Red Rice, My Mother, in the South aren't the 3 top picks. That's the beauty queen answers. What would you miss the most?
You mentioned that Yamatic view.
Yeah.
I might agree with you on that, actually.
Isn't that something else?
Yeah. I'm just thinking about it now because I'm like, really, would I? Well, honestly, I wouldn't want to leave Guam. I've thought about it many, many times.
Yeah, but, it's like you get in trouble and the judge says, you can put you in jail for 20 years or you have to leave Guam.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah.
Or join the military.
Right.
I think it's this old Judge Abadi stuff, right, from back in the old days. At any rate, Migo. At any rate, so I was yakking out loud about a scene that I saw, yesterday, day before. It just got me into thinking it's summertime on Guam. Got this guy on a motorcycle with his old lady in the back and a big flag flying high, and just kind of enjoying a day out riding around Guam with his buddies. And I thought that's such a summertime thing. I know that happens all the time, but it just looked like summer on Guam to me, and it got me thinking about liberation festivities. And I know it's still some time off, but it's going to be June tomorrow, and then before you know it, it's going to be July, and we're going to need to start talking about a liberation parade and things like that. So I thought I'd get with you and get kind of updated on what's going on with liberation plans.
Well, we're planning the liberation parade for sure, and of course we're accepting entry applications. That's at no charge. So I I don't know. I think the Point's gonna have a float with Mana as the queen. Yeah.
That's the current plan. Unless, of course, she it turns in her package and is a declared candidate in the election. I'm not sure that we'd be able to have her as our float queen. But yeah, we've already putting together our plans for the station. So
she could still be the queen on the Point's float. So yeah,
I think Joe wanted to be the queen.
That is why you are Pika's best.
Well, he said he saw Tom.
Oh my God!
He said he saw Top Gun over the weekend. Is in love with Tom Cruise again.
Be careful.
Some of us old enough to remember when there was a cop named Tom Cruise who was just the funniest guy in the whole wide world. God, I miss that guy. So Liberation Parade, so free entry for anybody that wants to put together like a float or a marching band or DJs or whatever, right?
Yeah, that's correct. So we're actively accepting those applications, and it's usually done online. Of course, GVB, I just love working with those guys over there. So you go on the GVB website, you'll click a link for Liberation, and all the forms are on there. So we update them as necessary. I believe there's only one document that's pending, and that's just the rules for the parade, which we will get to them.
Don't throw candy at the kids because you're going to run them over.
Yeah, like that. Correct.
Make sure your driver's not on ice. The usual stuff. Okay. So that's now. What about for the spectators? When do we need to start having that conversation about of spectators being able to sign up for a space on either side of the roadway?
So that should be coming out later this month. I know we're going to do the DPR. We'll be accepting the applications in July. We'll announce later this month what date that actually will be, and that's a whole event in itself.
Oh God, yeah.
They camp there on the sides of DPR.
Absolutely. And we have not had that tradition over the last couple of years, so it will be interesting to see what new ways to enjoy camping out over at DPR and at Paseo. What new ways are going to develop as a result of being COVID locked down for 2 years.
Right. So that'll be, like I said, that's going to be interesting in itself, or an event in itself. And that, of course, we're expecting a long line there because the slots are free, and that's because we just wanted to make it easier for everyone. Obviously, we're talking about relocating because of the cost of living, so we want to make it easier and a lot more fun. So that's definitely one. The third thing that's going on is, of course, there's fireworks and a drone show on the 21st.
Okay, so that's all locked down already.
Yeah. So 8:30 p.m. is going to be the drone show, and 9 p.m. is the fireworks, and it's all going to be in Hagåtña. That's on the 21st. On the 22nd, we're having Fandania Fridays on steroids. Yeah, that's what. Well, I don't know if we should really coin it that, but that's how it's being planned, because it's going to be it might be a whole day affair. We'll announce that soon enough. It kind of depends. There's some exciting news for that day, but that has to come later. So
do I have to wait for the governor to say it, or what? If you say it, are you going to get fired as Speaker's best?
I'm not going to get fired, but I'm not going to say anything because I'm not the one who's going to.
Oh my God! I'm going to ask. Carl's going to be on it a little bit. Uncle Carl's going to be on it a little bit. So can I ask him? He'll know, right?
That guy.
What?
Every time I look at him, I just have to laugh because, boy, if he thinks about something, you better stay away. Otherwise, you're
gonna get run over. Yeah, he's gonna run over you on the way to make magic happen. All right, so remind me when I talk to Uncle Carl about what big announcement is coming up on the 22nd.
The 22nd. Just know that it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a good time for the family. Minus the carnival, I don't want to say minus the carnival because we're not having the entire drawn out carnival for 30, 60 days. But we're certainly going to put together a fun event for one day that I think everyone will enjoy. But then, so that in the evening on Saturday or on Friday, the 22nd, there will also be some fireworks, but that'll be in Tumon.
Gotcha. So, is the theme all in? Is the theme for the fireworks show this year all in?
No. Beba, Santa Maria, and Cumberland.
Oh, there we go. There's that. Okay, 7:53 in the morning. Just trying to draw some information out of my very close friend, dear personal friend, Mayor Jess Alec from the beautiful village of Petey, right up the street. And it got to be kind of alarming here. Not going to try to force the topic on you, but man, did you see those kids in Paseo over the weekend? What the hell?
Yeah, I mean, you know what? It always worries me because when you have something good going, you always want to make sure that you take care of, you just cover all your bases, and that just kind of that entire incident, just kind of shed more light on what we have in the village, because we try and keep our facilities open, we try to keep them accessible, and you just kind of worry because.
Well, the kids are going to gather and they're going to show off their trucks and their rides. I'm totally down for that. But I think, anything after midnight, what's the old rule here? Nothing good happens after 10 o'clock. And a bunch of these kids down at Paseo, and apparently, clearly, there was some alcohol and maybe some marijuana that was involved. And somebody went all aggro with a machete, and another kid pulls a gun out and starts firing it into the air. And somebody needs to tell them that what goes up is going to come down, and that could have caused other injuries, maybe even a fatality from that stray bullet.
Right.
But absolutely crazy what's going on, and where I'm just going. Don't we have Parks and Rec guys? Don't we have what is it, the park rangers or something like that? Where were they in all of this? Where are they? And to try to keep that area safe. I mean, there's actual people that otherwise use that for recreation and exercise.
And that's the point. It's like trying to get those officers, or not even park rangers, but other types of law enforcement personnel out into the villages, Hagganet to included. And so I know that GVB, I know Governor Gutierrez, I know Senator Sonanstein's been working on it. But yeah, we just need to get that law enforcement presence out in the village, and just because it's necessary.
Yeah, and this is not deep in the village. This is Paseo. This is downtown Agana, where all of this took place, and not too far away from an old police precinct. And as the crow flies, maybe a mile away from the new police precinct up in Sinania. 7:55. Go ahead.
The other thing that I think about, there's two things that I think about because of this pandemic and just the way things are the way life goes right these days. One, we were talking about fanging it, right, and the respect aspect between the young and the old.
Yeah.
And because nobody wants to kiss each other anymore because of COVID, well, I'm thinking, well, you know what, that's a sign of respect that our parents, our grandparents taught us. Perhaps we need to go back to actually fanging it and to take the hand and mean it. But then it's also the respect of your parents as well. And when the street light goes on, you need to go home.
Yeah.
Right? And that's just kind of like that's how we were brought up. As soon as those street lights go on, you got to go home. I'm talking about family. I'm talking about those values and the Chamorro values really of respect. And I think sometimes we need to go back to that. Because we're going to be talking about suicide today.
Yeah.
And with some mayors, and it's like, so how else? We're looking at all other areas and other aspects and points of view, but sometimes I think we have to go back to basics because we've lost it. I mean, you grew up in a different era, right?
Yes.
Than I did for sure, but we kind of are the same people when it comes to respect. But you take a look at our generation now, and this is a whole different lifestyle for them. So I don't know. I'm just trying to think.
I'm sometimes at a loss to figure out what changed, when it changed, and all of that. And one of these days, somebody smarter than me will go through all of those things. 7:57. One last question, and I should probably be directing it at Mana's mayor, but I went running on Teeds early Saturday morning, and I was astonished at the number of vehicles that were kind of in that area where they were doing vaccinations, but everybody is using what was the old carnival grounds is like a
they were using it as a flea market.
It's a flea market.
Yeah. So
is that a new thing?
No. But you know what? The mayor does have a plan for that area. They want to do some sort of like a night market and have some business opportunities.
Plus, everybody's doing a night market. The flea market thing looked like it was successful.
They've been working on it for a couple of years, but they were stopped because they used during the pandemic, they were using the site for the vaccines and the testing.
Well,
so
it was back in full force on Saturday morning. It was nice.
I'm actually glad because I think that they're going to resume their planning and moving in that direction of opening it up for activities and things.
Beep your mayor and tell her to call in.
Okay.
Beep her and say we've already had Pika's best on, but she was a runner-up, right? Junie was a runner-up for Pika's best.
Do you see the generational gap? You said beep her. You don't beep anybody anymore. That's one of those dangerous.
Hey, bro, we'll get together at Gibson's later on, okay?
Yeah.
All right. One thing's for sure. Pika's best mayor, Jess Alec from the beautiful village of Petey. Have you got something going on like a flea market on a Saturday morning or a village night, you call me up and let me know, okay?
I will.
Okay, amigo. You have a great day as well. 888-825-5888-TALK. Well, what did I get from that telephone call? Plans underway now for a big liberation parade that we're going to be having. Don't say the C word. Don't be carnivals. Bye-bye. We're not going to be able to do that this year because nobody wants to do a carnival anymore. The only time it was ever fun for anybody was when they had the casinos going and then they tried to do the thing with the casino and follow the money, and it actually cost us more money than Revenue Tax was able to say that they collected from having the casino there. And it just sounds like it's more trouble, literally, than it's worth to do a carnival and a casino this year. But you never know. He said there was something magical, something wonderful is supposed to happen on the 22nd.
And the ball goes rolling and rolling and rolling and rolling to the lucky color of...
Where's it go? Color blue, 7:59 and change. Coming up, we got Fox News Live, Montecito Tyron with big 8 o'clock news on the other side of that. And remind me to tell you, we got Ron McNinch is actually coming into the studio here this morning. And what are we going to talk about? The Depp Heard trial. Details are on the way. Stay there.
Honoring the fallen, I'm Rich Dennison, Fox News. President Biden paid respects to servicemen and women who've given their life to the country during a Memorial Day ceremony at Arlington National Cemetery.
Our memorial to them must not be just a day when we pause and pray. It must be a daily commitment to act, to come together, to be worthy of the price that was paid.
The president later taking part in a tree planting ceremony with Gold Star families at the White House. The president earlier saying there may be some bipartisan support to tighten restrictions on high-powered weapons used by the gunman in the Texas elementary school shooting.
The Constitution, the Second Amendment, was never absolute. You couldn't buy a cannon.
The president says Republicans who normally oppose any new gun restrictions may have been jolted by last week's massacre that killed 19 young children and 2 teachers. Parents and caregivers in the U.S. are continuing to struggle to find infant formula.
Tens of thousands of parents are in an absolutely dire position. The out-of-stock rate, once again, 70% right now. Never mind some babies needing a particular kind due to health issues. Last week, the Biden administration began importing tens of thousands of pounds of baby formula. The goal there is to offset shortages caused by supply chain issues and the shutdown of a major factory that produced formula earlier this year.
Fox's Alexandria Hoff in Washington. 2 people were killed and 20 others were injured after a crash last night that sent 2 cars careening into a crowd of bystanders at an annual Memorial Day weekend cruise night in Nebraska's capital. 2 women, ages 20 and 22, had been inside one of the cars and died in the crash in Lincoln. 1 person was listed in critical condition, and the others were being treated at hospitals for injuries not believed to be life-threatening. America's listening to Fox News.
Start your day with BK's new Cheesy Breakfast Melts. Our Cheesy Breakfast Melts feature your choice of sausage, bacon, or ham, layered with fluffy folded eggs, 2 slices of American cheese on toasted round bread. Make it a meal with hash browns and a brewed coffee or OJ. Get your hands on the new Cheesy Breakfast Melts, now available during breakfast hours, 6:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. every day for a limited time only. BK, Tumon Bay, Hagåtña, and the airport. BK, your way.
Half a day, this is Honey. Here at APL, our expertise and extensive network can help you grow your business and reach out to more global markets. As a responsible carrier, APL is also committed to a sustainable future, whether it's protecting the environment or investing our efforts in giving back to the community. Our dedicated teams in Guam, Saipan, and on U.S. mainland are here to support you. Call 588-4651 or visit apl.com.
Detectives have arrested an 18-year-old Florida man after receiving a tip that he threatened a mass shooting at a school in a social media post. Corey Anderson's post showed him with a handgun, a rifle, and a tactical-style vest, along with a caption that said, "Hey Siri, directions to the nearest school." Anderson was arrested at his home near Tampa yesterday and charged with a written or electronic threat to conduct a mass shooting or act of terrorism. The husband of House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is facing a drunk driving charge in California.
Paul Pelosi, who is 82 and Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi's husband, is facing charges including driving under the influence and driving with a blood alcohol content level of 0.08 or higher, according to police records. He was arrested over the weekend on suspicion of DUI in Napa County, north of San Francisco, and his bail for the two misdemeanors was set at $5,000. Speaker Pelosi was not with him at the time. She was in Providence, Rhode Island, where she delivered the commencement address at Brown University. Tanya J. Powers, Fox News.
Pacific Hurricane Agatha makes landfall along the southwestern Mexican coastline today.
And while it's unknown what will happen in a few days, the storm's generally northeastern motion means it could cause a tropical disturbance in the lower Gulf of Mexico, where the conditions generally favor cyclones. There are no watches or warnings posted in the United States yet. Hurricane season officially won't begin until June 1st. In Broward County, Florida, Eben Brown, Fox News.
A man seemingly disguised as an old woman in a wheelchair threw a piece of cake at the glass protecting the Mona Lisa at the Louvre Museum and shouted at people to think of planet Earth. Paris prosecutors say the 36-year-old man was detained following yesterday's incident and sent to a police psychiatric unit. That cake attack left a smear on the glass, but the famous work by Leonardo da Vinci was not damaged. I'm Rich Dennison, and this is Fox News.
Win a $100 gas card when you purchase Gasolina energy drinks. Be one of 5 winners and enter now when you purchase 3 for $4 Gasolina 8-ounce or 3 for $5 Gasolina 16-ounce energy drinks. Drawing on June 21st. Free gas with 76 Circle K. Take it easy. Get a 10-pound bag of ice for only 95 cents when you purchase a 12-pack or more of any soda or beer. Only 95 cents for a 10-pound bag of ice. Swing by Circle K today. Some conditions apply. See stores for details. Circle K. Take it easy.
$15 might not get you that far, but Chili's is bucking the trend with $15 meal deals. At Chili's, $15 gives you not 1, not 2, but 3-course meal deals complete with a drink, a starter, and an entree. Mix and match 3-course meals 15 ways to Sunday with soup, salad, or chips and salsa to start, and ranchero chicken tacos, honey chipotle crispers with rice, bacon ranch quesadillas, or personal fajitas for the main course. Build your own $15 meal deal at Chili's. More life and great value happen here.
Candid News Group and The Point present Platform 2022, the Gubernatorial Debate, hosted by Phil Leon Guerrero and Montecillo Tyron, May 31st at 5:30 everywhere. Live streamed on Candid, live on 93.3 ThePOINT.gu, Facebook. Former Governor Felix P. Camacho, Congressman Mike Sinicolas, and Governor Lou Leon Guerrero.
Brought to you by the Committee to Re-elect Leon Guerrero Tenorio and by Linda's Diner.
Your local news is brought to you by Nambo Insurance. Skip the line, pay online. It's fast, it's easy, and it's secure. Visit Nambo.com for more information.
Off a day is 8:07. I'm Montecillo Tyron with a look at your local news on The Point. Police are investigating the shooting that took place at the Paseo this weekend. One individual, however, was arrested, and possibly more arrests could be made. A 21-year-old man turned himself into the Southern Precinct over the weekend. He's identified as Evan Babauta Pangilinan. He faces a number of charges to include carrying a firearm without an ID and unlawfully discharging of firearm. The investigation again continues and possibly more arrests may be pending. Meanwhile, the Center for Biological Diversity, Blue Ocean Law, and Protehi Litetsan Save Ritidian on Friday notified the U.S. Navy and the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service that they intend to sue to stop the ongoing construction of a machine gun range and the relocation of 5,000 Marines to Guam. The group contends that the activities jeopardize the survival of 15 endangered species, including the Guam Micronesia kingfisher and the Mariana 8-spot butterfly. In a press release, they say that the military expansion is destroying Guam's precious natural and cultural heritage. Max Phillips, who's Hawaii's director and staff attorney at the center, said in the press release that it's adding insult to injury. The Navy isn't living up to its duty to mitigate this harm and ensure the survival of Guam's imperiled plants and animals. And senators will be back in session this week, but what's yet to be added to the agenda is a bill that would allow for a land lease to build the 198-megawatt Ukudu power plant. The Post reports that the measure failed to get on the legislative agenda on Friday after objections were raised over how long the Bills Committee report had been posted on the legislature's website. According to GPA, the Ukudu power plant is a key asset for GPA and the island as a whole. The facility is to become the next main power plant for Guam and is part of the consent decree with the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency. Now, full construction won't begin until the financing entity releases more than $500 million in remaining funding, but the lenders won't release the money until the land lease agreement is finalized. Bill 301 would accomplish this condition, but the legislature hit a snag on Friday. Senator Chelo Taitagui objecting to the placement on the agenda, reportedly because it failed to satisfy a notice period. The Speaker of the legislature still maintains, though, that there is no notice period required. Well, more news right after this.
Go green, go hybrid. Go to Nanbo Insurance, and your next power bill is on us. Insure your hybrid car at Nanbo and get up to $350 towards your next power bill. That's instant savings for keeping our island clean and green. Nanbo has been providing Guam with over 50 years of reliable and affordable auto insurance. At Nanbo, it pays to go green. Terms and conditions apply. Visit nanbo.com or call 477-9754 for details.
Since the program started nearly a year ago, the Emergency Rental Assistance Program has received $33.6 million, but the Department of Administration has only distributed less than half of that amount, and the time is running out as the program will conclude in September and the funding runs out. And while landlords and renters complain that the funds aren't coming out fast enough, DOA says that they are doling out about $300,000 to $400,000 every week. The rent assistance program is meant to provide relief to struggling families who are unable to pay rent or utility bills. DOA's Director Ed Burns says although there may appear to be some delays from the landlord's perspectives, there really isn't any. He does say in the Guam Daily Post that there are some landlords that have experienced what appears to be a delay because of missing information. Last month, 62 families were identified as displaced and in search of homes that accept a tenant's ERA status. While Byrne couldn't provide updated numbers, he did share that applications keep rolling in. ERA is set to expire in September, he says. And Agate residents will have to pick up their mail in Agana with some structural problems that were identified at the Agate Post Office. The temporary closure was announced over the weekend after some safety issues were identified, ranging from mold to wood rot and a leaky roof. And Japan Airlines will resume flying between Guam and Narita in August. The airline put out a release this weekend. They also plan to operate limited flights between Narita and Guam in September. However, that schedule has not yet been finalized. And those are your top stories here on The Point. Here's Ray with your weather.
Did Jess say anything about Liberation Weekend being 4 days?
I don't think so.
There should be. By executive order, I think there should be another day working on that thing here. Say 8:11 in the morning. I was going to do weather, but I wanted to put this up on the screen just to tick off my Democrat friends. There's a Monday night mix with munchies and music and merch. It'll take place Monday, June the 6th from 6 until 9 at the Orland Pacific Plaza parking area, which also happens to be the headquarters for the Camacho ADA gubernatorial team. Maybe you've heard about it. There'll be entertainment as Just Friends is going to be playing. We'll have food trucks there. And Guam Leaf and Crystals by Paul and the Relief Shop are going to be there to help, if you've got some anxieties, that's one of the ways to do that, is to just CBD and crystallize yourself. And you can also register to vote. Did I already say this was the headquarters for Camacho Anda 2022? Right on. Thank you very much, Sean Gumatautal, for sending that over. Anyway, so before I get into the weather, I mentioned this at the top of the hour as a teaser to get your attention. But I'm sitting over at Carabao on Sunday having the Sando. Philly cheese, thank you very much. It was very good. And Dr. Ron McNinch came in to pick his Sando up for Sando Sundays. And we got to talking, and he started talking to me about the Depp Heard trial. And I said, buddy, a lot of this is going to go over my head because I've already had 2 of these milk beers. So, number one, and number 2, I'm really not paying that much attention to it. I mean, it's just one of those things that also happens to be. And he says, Ray, everybody is paying attention to the Depp Heard trial.
How on earth have you not?
I don't have television at the house. I mean, if it's not on Netflix, I'm not watching
YouTube.
it.
I like it because it's like YouTube. Blow Part 2.
It's Blow Part 2. I don't know. It's just, everybody's got their own issues in their lives. So why would I bother, watching somebody else go through whatever it is that they're.
Because the governor's on live. Hold on. I got to see what she's saying.
Is she talking about whatever Jess Alex said was on the 22nd?
Wait, it says something about World Health Organization. What are you saying?
Oh, nobody cares about the WHO. It's a UN thing. This is it's like, the only people that care about that are in the.
It's also very preventable. And through my years as a public, official,
what is she talking about?
I have made tobacco a priority. I have made it a priority in the legislation that we have advanced since I was a senator in the legislature.
Are cigarettes still bad? Is that what she's trying to say? Is this going to morph into monkeypox? Can we? Where's my monkeypox vaccine? Where do I line up for that? How much money do I get if I get my monkeypox vaccine? Will it be bigger than $25? So if I get the $25 and I use that over at Shell, can I put my Pacific points on that? Come on, Bigley, come on, get into this. Tell me, wake up and tell me what if I can get Pacific points, even though I'm using the money that I got from the governor's office. 8:14 in the morning. But anyway, so the Depp will have a conversation in studio about the Depp Heard thing. So if you've been paying attention and you want to talk about it, Dr. McNinch wants to get on talk radio and see if there will be people that will call in and share their thoughts about the Depp Heard trial with him. And I said, okay, fine. And if that doesn't work, if we go 5 minutes with you explaining to me why this is some kind of great pop culture phenomenon that I'm somehow missing, like the Tiger King, then if it doesn't get the bell ringing around here, we'll move on to some other stuff. There's all kinds of other political.
I have to admit that I got sucked into watching it, and I'm not a huge fan of Johnny Depp or Amber Heard. I didn't really follow him at all.
I didn't even know they kicked him out of the Disney family.
Yeah, I saw a couple of movies. I've never seen Pirates of the Caribbean. I've never seen it. Maybe just two movies with him in it. But it was just such a fascinating trial just to see these two lobbing all these crazy things at each other.
Yeah, because people in Hollywood are crazy.
And so I'm on Team Depp because I just see his side as a little bit more believable.
Yeah,
it was just in the middle of the night. I'd wake up and grab my phone and look to
what's
see
happening. What's the latest?
Because the trial's happening while the rest of us are sleeping.
Craziness, and that you've got the bandwidth to follow it. I think it's kind of impressive. 8:16 in the morning. There's Mona Silva Tower, and she's done all that. And time for me to take our last look at weather here today. It's going to be hot again. Mostly sunny today with highs near 88 degrees. It doesn't stop there. We do a heat index thing out in this part of the world, and the heat index today is going to make it feel like it's 98 degrees. Ooh, wow, just shy of 100. Aren't we lucky? Partly cloudy tonight. Lows around 78 degrees. Southeast winds blowing, but not too much. 5 to 9 miles an hour, and then it will get even lighter than that. Partly sunny in the forecast for tomorrow with mostly cloudy skies tomorrow night. It started raining a little bit yesterday morning. I don't know, about 9:30 or something like that. And I'm looking out the back door of the house, and I'm thinking, come on, keep going. Keep going. It rained a nice 10-minute shower of good, solid Guam rain, and the house will be cool again. Naturally, it rained for maybe 45 seconds. By the time literally that wet dream was out of my head, it had stopped raining and then all of a sudden went back to being hot with a hint of mugginess. And I think that's what we're going to have today. Sunrise this morning was at 5:53. Sunset tonight is going to be at 6:44. If you got to be hot at the beach. Watch out for the sunset, would you? 8:17 news and weather together here on The Point.
Are you looking for a new place to hang out with your friends? Let's go along the sidelines at Sidelines Bar and Grill. Located at 154 Iriarte Road, Unit 4 and 5 in Tamuning behind Royal Bigs. Sidelines, a hidden gem with nothing but great things to offer. Great atmosphere, great food, top shelf drinks, and a great team. What are we waiting for? Let the fun begin at Sidelines Bar and Grill. Open daily from 3 p.m. to 2 a.m. See you there.
Is your business ready for digital transformation? The latest Wi-Fi technology is here, and it's Docomo Pacific's WorkPass, powered by Plume. WorkPass unlocks connectivity, productivity, and security tools all in the palm of your hand. Access features like adaptive Wi-Fi, guest and employee networks, evolving AI security, plus so much more. To learn more about WorkPass, visit business.docomopacific.com. Docomo Pacific Business. Work better together.
How about what have I got? 8:18 in the morning. Portions of the program brought to you by American President Lines. APL, a global presence with a local home, also being brought to you by Nissan Guam. It's in NissanGuam.com. That should be the first place that you start looking for a new car, a new ride in 2022. You want it to be an even hotter summer? Get in one of the hot rides that they've got there. I mean, hot technology, hot on the deals, and hot on the mileage here. 30+ miles to the gallon for most of the cars that you're going to find on the lot at Nissan today.
The Coconut Wireless is back. The Ray Gibson Show. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
Shoop Loop, 8:19 in the morning. Ray Gibson Show was celebrity birthdays before Mona gets out of here. Clint Eastwood is 92 years old. Former mayor of Carmel by the Sea in California is 92 years old. Do you feel lucky? Well, do you, punk? Tom Berenger from Inception and The Big Chill turns 72 years old. Isn't that, wasn't he Viper in Top Gun? Who am I thinking about?
No,
a different guy. Okay, gotcha. Leah Thompson from Back to the Future, the mom. You remember her? Mom?
Yeah.
61 years old. 61 now, guys. DMC of Run DMC is 58 years old. And Brooke Shields turns 57 years old.
Wow, Brooke.
Remember the first time we all saw her naked in Blue Lagoon?
Yes. Oh, no.
No?
I didn't.
You don't? You don't
My
know?
eyes were covered.
It was him. The guy. Who was the guy? He came to Guam years ago. We brought him out here for one of our Hit Radio 100 parties. He was famous then for about 20 minutes.
Rob Schneider.
That wasn't Rob Schneider. It wasn't, and he was in Shawshank Redemption too. 20 after 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm told it's former Governor Carl T.C. Gutierrez and everybody on the phone. Buenas and off a day, former Gov.
Hey, how you doing? I got some really nice people here, Regina and Lick and Jerry Parrish and Josh Teklenko. You know, we have a big day today. It's the annual membership meeting. Did you know that?
I did not know that. I'm sorry, I'm not a member. I didn't get the memo.
Oh, okay. But it's, you have to pay for your lunch.
My credit's no good? Just let me in. I'll owe you.
The Hyatt at 11 o'clock.
Man, you know what? We got to get ready for the debate. Otherwise, I'd bum rush that. I got a picture of you on the screen with a couple of people from on board the USS Mercy.
Yes, that's the commander and the executive, XO. And she's a doctor, too. And I don't know, I sent you a copy of their picture, their photo and uniform, right?
Yeah, I've got it.
Yeah, they were down at Pica's #1 mayor at PD last night. So they all were there dancing and carrying on, and that was really nice. They met the real people of Guam. I'm so glad to hear that. I'm glad that they're back in these waters. There's not the first trip that the ship has taken to Guam. I recall interviewing one of the admiral or whatever it was a few years ago. But I'm glad that they're back, and I'm glad that they have found so many nice people. It got hooked up with the right guy in Carl Harris. So membership meeting today, but and there's a lot of good news to pass along, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to get you on
on this morning because it just seems to me all weekend long I was getting pings from you, my buddy Renee, and all kinds of messages about back and forth and lifting of restrictions and making it easier for travelers to get just about everywhere. Manila, we're going back to Osaka on United. Japan Airlines is going to start flying again for the first time, scheduled flights in a couple of years. This is all great news for tourism, and you were even talking about maybe some good things happening in Taiwan as the restrictions are getting lifted out there. So summarize for me a little bit of all of these bits and pieces of good news for hospitality.
You take a look at that picture I just sent you now. This is Roxy from Japan. They are fam tour girls. They're models. I arrived last night, and we're going to have them there to show them off at the membership meeting. But take a look at it. Perhaps you could put it up on the screen. But
I will. I'm going to put it up on the screen right now. I've got an ad here for what's his name?
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. So yeah. No, it wasn't perfect. It was a thing for Felix and Tony next week. All right. So I've got Roxy on the screen right now, and then there's Anna. Is Anna there as well?
Yeah, both of them.
Okay, good.
That's the fashion name is the Roxy, but these are two of the models.
Oh, I got you. Okay. So now Naha and Anna are the two models.
Yes,
okay.
That's correct.
Ohayou gozaimasu. Mushy. We're gonna have to teach him the rest of that line here, Gov. 8:23 in the morning. So we got the fam tours that are happening all over the place. That's great. I mean, you just hosted a bunch of them week before last, but now we've got another set that is in town right now. And when they go back to Japan, it shouldn't be anything major when they get back, right? I mean, it's just do they even need a test to get back into the country?
They Regina?
As long as they're fully vaccinated with their 3 boosters, they go back and they don't need to quarantine.
Wow.
But I believe they still go through the line in the airport, right? But as long as they're fully vaccinated with their 3 shots. Yeah.
They're going to be excusing the testing soon for the United States. We're hopefully including Guam. So they're going to put that in, I think, in the next week or so, where you can go. They're going to excuse, I think, 10 countries.
Yeah, on the 26th, they just extended it to 36 countries, including the U.S. for the level.
Yeah. Okay, so when things are moving, well, you don't have to do anything at the airport.
Well, it's terrific news. I mean, no quarantine, no self-isolation, even for a few days. For many of the Japanese, I think that would be what a pain in the butt that would be to have to self-isolate. So I'm glad that they don't necessarily have to do that right now. And interesting to see that, and I want to say that JAL coming back online for Guam was maybe in response to the demand from United. United is kicking up all of the flights. We go direct Guam Osaka now, more Narita Guam flights. So I've got to imagine that JAL was kind of looking at that saying, well, if there's demand, I guess we better start flying to Guam too.
That's correct. I think the aggressiveness of United kind of spurred Japan Airlines to do that. And, United, to their credit, and that really helped Guam was they added those 2 extra flights in the weekend. Mm-hmm. So now 9 flights a week. And that's really great. And I think when the competitions out there start moving, it spurs other, people to start getting on the ball.
I got you. Now, what about Taiwan? It looked like there might be some good news coming out of Taiwan as we get further and further away from COVID. What's the latest with that market?
Well, there's no real official notices, but the aggressiveness of Korea and Japan are moving them to start acting also, because they're getting kind of pretty much in late in trying to bring the tourists back into Taiwan. Yeah. And hopefully in June, there's going to be a lifting of the onerous protocol.
Well, the interesting thing about Taiwan, and we've talked about this, you and I have talked about it on the air, is it's not just tourism. There's a whole lot of business in Taiwan that is interested in partnering with businesses here on Guam for a variety of different products and services. They see that things look like they're going to be happening around here, and many of the business people want to be a part of it. So it's important that we continue to kind of stoke those fires and get more attention in Taiwan. Maybe if GVB would spend more money out there.
Yeah.
I'm just giving you. No problem. I just I talked to those guys too. It's 8:27 in the morning, and then other interesting news. Even though it's not a huge source market, there's always the potential of being able to bring in a bunch of Filipinos to come in and enjoy their time here on Guam. What the heck? We've got a mall, we got movie theaters and Jollibees, and they're opening up another one eventually. So it looks like things are beginning to get easier for foreign nationals and residents to be able to go back and forth into and out of the Philippines again.
Yes, we are planning to participate in the Philippine Tourism Association's Expo on the 22nd, around the 22nd, just before the inauguration of the president and the vice president. So we're going to go there and start teaming up our mayors that have a relationship with the province that got reelected. There are 10 of them that already had a relationship with certain mayors here in Guam, and we want them to come to the convention, especially those mayors from the Philippines, wear a Guam T-shirt and start talking it up. They'll man the Guam booth, and we're trying to do something different where the people themselves, they excite themselves.
I'm sorry? Send them pictures of Nanaha and Anna. There will be some excitement. So we're looking for them to get excited about coming to Guam and seeing other Filipinos. Am I getting that right?
Well, you don't excite yourself in the Philippines, believe me.
It's one of those kind of mornings. Careful out there, board members. Carl's frisky today. Be be on your toes. You never know what's going to happen at the meeting today, the get-together meeting that you guys are going to be having. Anything else that's good happening in the hospitality or just business in general? What you got your ear to the ground? What are you hearing from members of the business community? Are we hopeful that we've turned a corner on this and is it the same kind of excitement that we had back in November and December of last year, just before we locked down again?
The fact that they're seeing people right now from Korea, particularly roaming the entire Tumon area, is in itself exciting. Those people that are not open yet, it's going to spur them to open up, and also thank goodness for the hospital ship that came in. There's 700 of them. They all descended on Tumon. And I showed you a picture where some of them were in there with the Koreans, and it's just it's something that I think that seeing is believing, and I think that's what's going to have a little bit more of an incentive for the businesses to start opening up.
That it really is happening, and I tell you what, while you're still kind of in mothballs, go ahead and clean things out. Yeah, you were talking about, and I'll show the video here in just a second that Carl is referring to. It's over at the Deuce Itani and their incredible fine dining that they do, the buffet that they've got on a Sunday. And I recall going there at the beginning of COVID and having a good time, but I can't imagine it wasn't crowded at that time. But I mean, now this looks like pre-COVID arrangements. You got all kinds of people serving themselves at the buffet. There's a line at the buffet, and so there are good things happening in Tumon, and it seems to be spreading. I mean, I was at Mosa's a couple of times over the course of the 3-day weekend, and all jam packed with military, and I'd say a good percentage of the crowd were Koreans that got in their rent cars and were driving around looking for some place to eat and found a pretty good place over at Mosa's.
The captain was there also at Moses, I believe, last night before he came down to our party.
Very good. I thought I saw him there enjoying the company of Diane Strong. Well, listen, it's always fun talking with you, and I can hardly wait to see what the headlines are going to be after the membership meeting that you're going to be having today. Now, one other thing. I was talking with Pica's Best, our favorite mayor, Jess Alley, and he said that there's going to be a big announcement coming up about July the 22nd. Something wonderful is going to happen. Something magical is going to happen. Then he said, I can't tell you anymore. And I'm like, well, maybe Uncle Carl will tell me. What do you guys got?
No, not yet. We're really tying it down here at EPAL, right? For the EPAL event. We'll just wait a little bit and let me think how to say it next time.
Well, I mean, this is 20. Is it bigger than a bread box? There's celebrities going to be flying in. Will there be,
No.
Are we bringing BTS, Korean boy band, to Guam? What is?
Well, no. Primarily the show, the water show, things like that. It's a real big show for a really big event on a Friday night.
Okay. All right. Now, our friend, am I going to hook up with Jerry Yingling? We're going to do Birdman again?
Hey, that wasn't bad, man.
No, that was great. Oh my God, I had a great time at that. We didn't get anybody that was able to actually fly, if you'll recall, but it was a great event. It was one of those things. Well, you made us look, and we all got together and had a good time down in Tumon. It was a spectacle that I think a lot of people enjoyed, and maybe we'll get more into it and more involved. You know, it's a different technology that we've got here today, and maybe using some different technology, different materials, we'll actually be able to get somebody that's actually airborne. But my God, what a time that was. 8:32 in the morning. Gov, always fun talking with you. Hugging a kiss to Auntie Jerry, and tell the guys I said yo.
Thank you, Ray. You're
All right.
still the one.
You're still the one. Oh, my God. Former Governor Carl T.C. Gutierrez wouldn't spill the beans on what is supposed to be happening on July the 22nd. I'm wondering if maybe will it be paid for with federal funds? Maybe that's a question we'll save for a little bit later on. Speaking of questions, Montesilva Tyron and Phil Leon Guerrero tonight at starting at 5:30. It'll be on Candidate's page. It'll be on our Facebook page, and you'll be able to hear it on 93.3. The Point is going to be the debate.
PBS will be on PBS.
Oh, that's right. PBS is going to be there. It looks like there is a post-show breakdown that I think we're going to leave just a candidate in this particular case. Troy and I haven't had too much of a chance to talk about. We'll get that on in just a little bit. But have you ever moderated a debate of this nature with gubernatorial
of any nature?
Yeah. It can get exciting. It can get exciting, and I think there's going to be, depending on who's doing the talking, you might need to be very aggressive about your time is up. You cannot go, and no, you may not hit him with a broom. You're not allowed to do any of that stuff. So I think it's going to be exciting and fun to watch. We got the gubernatorial camps are all lined up and ready to go.
This is actually the very first political event that we've had in this election.
So far, 87 days between now and the primary.
Debate, first panel discussion, so it's going to be very interesting.
Right, and when it's all done, I'll tell you about some of the outrageous demands of some of the gubernatorial camps. It's 8:34 in the morning. Montesilva Tyron's got that last big look at news and headlines coming up in just a minute. Be right back.
Everyone has a busy schedule these days, and sometimes we forget to schedule our routine dental checkup and cleaning. Don't neglect your dental health. Schedule one today with Dr. Robert Yang and his Smile Team, conveniently located at the East West Business Center on Marine Drive, Upper Tumon. Call us today at 647-8702 or 3. Again, that's 647-8702 or 647-8703. We make smiles happen.
Hey there, folks. It's me, KFC's Extra Crispy Colonel. My KFC Extra Crispy Chicken is freshly double-breaded and fried to a luxurious, mouth-watering bronze. You see, Extra Crispy KFC Chicken isn't just a product, it's a lifestyle.
And for a limited time, KFC's delicious egg tarts are back. Pick up your KFC Extra Crispy Chicken meal and an order of egg tarts at your favorite KFC today. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
To be fair, and then you got to say it in 2 or 3 different accents if you want to be. Mana said to be fair about something, and I don't know that she's ever watched Letterkenny, so she doesn't know why that's funny as hell. To be fair, it's 8:35 in the morning, and about time for that last big look at news and headlines, and then Mana's going to go and get her nails done and hair did for tonight. Have you picked out the dress that you'll be wearing?
No.
Has Phil?
I'm thinking.
What?
Well, I'm sure he's going to have something glamorous.
I think so. I think that should be the hallmark for tonight's
No,
debate.
I think it might just be a coat and tie.
Michael Kors purse? I'm sorry, you just got to throw it. Well, it's not like you do it all the time, so I'm totally loaded. Yeah, will there be a recitation of the linguine tonight over at the thing? Now, did you say that I got to find a video of Cousin Freddie? Okay, just FYI, just for disclosure, Freddie Berdalio literally is our cousin. Literally is our cousin, and apparently there's a video floating around, so I've got obvious by it. He did the Inifresi in the video.
Yeah.
English or Chamorro?
In Chamorro.
Wow. Amazeballs. All right. Well, maybe I'll go find that. On the other hand, Uncle Carl keeps sending me pictures of pretty Japanese girls, so I'm otherwise occupied. 8:36 now with their last big look at news and headlines. Avamana, what happened?
Well, police are investigating that shooting incident that took place at the Paseo while the Department of Parks and Recreation weighs the possibility of shutting down the park in the evening hours. The incident led to the arrest of at least one individual, 21-year-old Evan Babauta Pangilinan. More arrests may be possible. Meanwhile, Agate residents, you're going to have to pick up your mail from the Agana post office for at least a couple of days while they're the post office addresses some structural issues at the Agate post office. The temporary closure announced that some safety issues were identified, ranging from mold to wood rot to a leaky roof. And after at least 2 years with no flights to Guam, Japan Airlines will be resuming their flights to Guam from Narita in August. They also plan to reopen some flights in September. However, that schedule has not yet been finalized. And those are your headlines right here on The Point.
Let's see if I can get something on the screen. I didn't think it would take very long, but I've got my buddy Walter sent me a thing here, all the way down. Oh, well, where's that? Man, it's a video. I'm gonna when we go to the break, I'll see if I can find it. It is a video that somebody has already put together of the guy that was swinging the machete on Friday night. They've set it to music. I'm going to try not to ruin this by talking about it too much, but I'm going to see if I can find the thing in my gizmo here on the Instagram and then play it for you. In the meantime, 8:38 in the morning on the Ray Gibson Show. I'll be right back.
Celebrating the graduating class of 2022, Whopper Wednesday is back. Every Wednesday in June, visit participating Burger King restaurants and say, I love the Whopper. And you'll get a free flame grilled Whopper sandwich with the purchase of any Whopper combo meal. Top off your meal with french fries or onion rings and refreshing Coca-Cola. Tell your family and friends and enjoy your Whopper Wednesday in June. Available at BK Hagatnya, Tumon Bay, Micronesia Mall, and the airport. Congratulations to the class of 2022 from your friends at Burger King. Be your way.
We're already Pika's best radio station, but we're always looking for ways to be even better. Announcing The Point on Alexa. In addition to our FM and HD radio feeds, our incredible app, informative website, Facebook Live, and YouTube Live, you can now tell Alexa to stream The Point. And your smart speaker will start playing whatever we're saying. News and views 24/7 with your 4-word command. Alexa, stream The Point.
Okay, I think I got it. Hold on. Hope it's clean. Go ahead and wait a second. Oh, things like that always happen.
Oh, wow.
Do I have audio? Oh, it's muted.
What?
I don't know. It's the video. The only way I could get it on was to play it as part of my story, and it muted again. Doggone it. Unbelievable. Like I said, somebody's taken that and put it to music. You might be wondering what the heck the rest of my Instagram feed looks like. There you go. I don't know if they're influencers, but that's whatever's on the front page of my IG here this morning. 20 away from the top of the hour, 888-825-888-TALK. Somebody asked me about that, and I said, I'm a boy. I was.
You are.
Yeah. But she didn't quite. And I said, look, I'm from the 60s. I'm from, Real James Bond and Playboy magazine when they had naked women. And that's the environment that I grew up in. It's hard not to be a misogynist with all of those things going on. Plus, I still apparently have the same hormones now than I did when I was 17. For some of you, that might be too much information. 8:40 in the morning. Ray Gibson Show. Ken LG's on the other line. The other Governor Leon Guerrero. Buenas noches.
Good morning. This is going to be a great day, especially after you guys get your show rolling. And the reason I was calling today is
we've been on the air since 6. Are you talking about Candid and The Point and the Platform 2020? Okay.
Yes, because this is an opportunity for our younger people to start taking control of their futures, because everybody I've talked with so far, we're running between 30 and 40% invalid signatures, and the majority of the invalid signatures on petitions are younger people. Oh. And yeah, I'm not kidding. And when I'm out collecting signatures, the ones that I hear the most, I'm not registered, is younger people. And they always say the same thing, my vote won't count. Well, they're forgetting that in the Gutierrez election, it was less than 200 votes separating, And the same thing between Lou and Frank in the primary, less than 300 votes separating. So every vote matters. And we're talking about their futures because, yes, we're hoping that the tourism industry gets started up, but who got hurt the worst? The younger people in hospitality, and that's because politicians were not afraid of them, and that's why they kept Lou's edicts in force. They didn't give the senators the senators didn't take back their power because they're not afraid of voters, especially younger voters. And the reason this is important is tomorrow I'm losing another nephew who is a highly skilled technical person who's going to be moving to the mainland to get a job there because over here he can't afford to live on what they're paying him to do the same job here. And last week on Canada, I did a thing about Exodus. I got contacted by a police officer who was getting ready. He wanted to talk to me about Dallas and Atlanta because of my video. I lived in both places.
Yeah.
And so he wanted to talk to me about the living conditions because he's looking at moving over there at a position that starts at about 50% more than he's making now after a number of years, plus the $10,000 sign-on bonus will pay for his relocation. And he wanted to know about Dallas and about Atlanta. So we're starting to lose people farther up in the technical skill levels, people we as a community cannot afford to lose. And that's why everybody listening to your show today.
Touching on something similar that we were talking about last week with Harvey Egna. Is you get it's the brain drain, and we've experienced this before in cases where people where they collected up all of their belongings, got rid of everything they could, cashed out, and moved to the States, and said, well, maybe I'll come back, and maybe I'll come back doesn't always pan out in a lot of cases because all of a sudden you realize that that $50,000-$60,000 that you were making here on Guam and you could barely scrape by in other places in the United States, that $60,000 lets you live pretty comfortably. You find someplace nice to live in a decent neighborhood. You got good schools, and there's clean parks, and there's police all over the place, and there's a nice hospital down the road in case somebody gets sick, and you've got all of these things that would conspire to have you put your feet, some roots down into the soil of wherever it is that you moved, or the option of going elsewhere, maybe another place, as many people in the States are experiencing now, getting the hell out of whatever town they're in and looking for places like Santa Lucia in Florida, or was it Arizona? We were talking about a couple of places in Arizona, North Las Vegas, if you will, where that dollar is going to go a lot further.
Yeah. He already did some preliminary research, and right now he's paying $1,500 a month for a 2-bedroom apartment in Tamuning. He's looking at $1,300 for a 3-bedroom house with a swimming pool in Atlanta.
Yeah. And if you've got enough money to set aside, there's always the opportunity there that you can buy a house. I mean, there are places that might not be growing as exponentially as the ones that I've listed here this morning, but there's still a whole lot of places where for what you would pay for a fixer-upper in Liguan Terrace or Fern Gardens up there, for what you would pay for a fixer-upper there, you'd be able to get yourself about an acre of property with a big house on it and hot tub, and not too far away from the sports centers and someplace to get craft beer. I'm closing my eyes now thinking of the house next to my dad's place in Matthews and Kilkenny Street in Matthews, North Carolina, and that house was sat on a half acre. And I want to say that it had 4 bedrooms, at least 4 bedrooms in it, 2.5 baths, covered patio outside, and just all kinds of stuff in the area. And you could go. There was a greenway, a green path that they had that connected up all of the different housing developments that they had in the area. That eventually ended up in Matthews, in the town of Matthews, where there was a nice sports bar you could go to, and there was a nice craft beer joint called the Beer Temple that I'd go to about 3 times a week. And like I said, nice school over here, hospital. Oh my God, the amount amount of health care in the Matthews Charlotte area for people of a certain generation is just, it's incredible and amazing. 8:46 in the morning. Of course, I'm not encouraging people to leave. I'm encouraging our elected representatives to make this place more affordable, to make this place safer, to make our hospital better, to make our schools absolutely shine. Come on, guys, get with it.
Well, the only way that's going to happen is we have to have our young people get involved. And the easiest way for them to get involved is just to register, because politicians are looking at the new registration rolls. And one of the things they're seeing is the age of these people. And when we see our younger people, because the millennials are a bigger generation than the baby boomers, but in the last couple of elections, 30% of the voters registered were baby boomers, but 75% of them turned out to vote compared to 60% who are millennials, and only 30% of them turned out to vote. And then the 9,000 people got eliminated in the first month of the Leon Guerrero Tenorio administration. I guarantee you about 90% of them were the millennials.
It's also possible that they might be trying to market to some of those people right about now in order to get their attention back and gaslight them, so that they don't, so that nothing bad happened over the last 2 years. You didn't really lose your job. You didn't really lose access to a spectacular lifestyle based on wages.
You really didn't spend 9 hours sitting in your car in the dark of night hoping to be one of the first ones to get a bag of food.
Yeah, well, they also were among the people that probably saw the highest income of their lives when they started receiving some of those PUA checks. 8:47 in the morning. Ken, I got to let you go. I'll talk to you pretty soon. We got if you want to, you can call in next hour when Dr. McNinch is going to be in talking about the Depp Heard case.
Not interested in any way, shape, or form, because I'm losing a nephew. He's leaving.
As you
because
said,
he can't afford to live here anymore. And to me, the fact that we're seeing a brain drain like we haven't seen since the 70s. And I was part of the 70s brain drain. I left and I was gone for 27 years.
Yeah, well,
so this generation.
Peter Santos wants to know when you're leaving again. It's a joke. It's a joke. He's a joke. He's a funny guy. Hey, I got to go. Cousin Troy's on the other line.
What do you mean he's a funny guy? He muses you?
He muses me. By a clown. 8:48 in the morning. Here he is. I don't know where you find the energy, buddy. You're up early and you're going to be up late at night. I'm going to be working on a nap before too much longer after I swing by and visit Eric on a couple of things. But otherwise, I will be here for the debate tonight. Platform 2020. The other presenter is Cousin Troy. Good morning, Cuz. How you doing?
Good morning. I'm doing well. Thank you. How are you?
You know what? I'm steeped in anticipation. This is a first of its kind with Point and Candid. Also first of its kind because I've got the radio station's name on it, and I'm not going to be in the studio, and I'm not going to be holding a microphone for this particular event. So we're going to leave that to Phil and Mana, so that there is no appearance of any kind of bias one way or the other for or against any of the candidates.
Yeah, that was the point. That was the whole point of it. And so, audiences on both sides can expect, well, first, it's as fair as it can be. The questions were made by an independent panel. But I think when you have journalists like Phil Leon Guerrero and Mana Silva-Tyron moderating, you can also expect an exciting debate. And of course, with the two candidates, I don't know if they're going to duke it out, but it's going to be exciting. Congressman Nicholas has always had a way with words, and Governor Leon Guerrero is, pretty quick-witted. And, her performances in the 2018 debate were excellent.
Got my attention. I recall I was at the Rotary Club. I was the moderator for the Rotary Club debates that took place at the Hilton. That was also live streamed. I don't remember who streamed it, but it was out there, and she got everyone's attention. Everybody was answering questions from a common table, and when it got time for her to answer the question that I had asked, she says, "I want to stand up, and I'd like to stand where you are," and she basically took over the podium.
Yeah,
and the comments, she was on target. This is right after I want to say it was right around the time that the Tenorio campaign campaign was beginning to unravel in front of everybody's eyes. And I think a smart move made by her handlers, Francie and Tommy and others, was you need to start sounding more like a conservative and more like you're going to be pushing conservative values and agendas, especially if you're doing this at the Rotary Club. And I know many people whose minds were changed as a result of that presentation and a couple of others between then and the election.
I mean, well, it's not like the option. The other option was something to go forward.
Well, and again, yeah, it had already started unraveling kind of at the edges, and the event of July, the what is it? What do we call it?
The Glock party.
The Glock party, yeah. When it finally got to be the Glock party, for all intents and purposes, that campaign was over.
Yeah, that was spectacular.
Yeah, interesting times. And we've got some interesting times here today. I'm a little bit worried. Kenley and Guerrero talking about young people need to get out there and vote. Young people need to get home from being at Paseo all night long playing with machetes and shooting guns.
Well, I mean, historically, young people don't vote. If you want to know who's registering to vote, it's more likely than not that the people registering to vote were they were driven by candidates. Normally, candidates, especially those who have a strong ground game, they're the ones who flood the new registration. It's not really your regular walk-in. Oh, I decided this year I want to vote.
Well, and there's that. And I was talking to a teacher, Lauren, and Lauren teaches kids of a certain age, old enough to vote. And one day she had somebody come in to do registration in her classroom. And only a handful of the kids decided that they would participate and get registered. And the number one answer that they gave for not wanting to participate is they didn't want to be on the rolls for jury duty. And I thought, my God, here it is, a couple of obligations, and there aren't many that I would consider to be kind of an obligation here. Is you've got to every once in a while, not me, I don't want me to do it, I want you to do it, but every once in a while you need to sit and go through a voir dire to sit on a jury and maybe even be selected to sit on a jury. I would consider that an honor. I don't have time to do it right now because I'm on the radio when they do all of this stuff. But if they could make it more convenient, I don't see why the problem is make it convenient for the judge, but never mind the jury guys. But having said that, you move over and then you think about voting. I consider that an obligation. I think it's important for me from time to time to study the candidates that are putting their lives, reputations, and dollars at risk and want to become a representative in the community. It's important for me to study those names, and it's important for me to decide whether I'm going to vote for this lunkhead or not.
Yeah, and tonight's debate helps with that decision. At least for the primary election of 2022, first debate of the year, and we get to see two candidates in living color answering questions off the cuff, questions that they and you and I have never seen or heard before, right? Because they've been held under lock and key. And so we'll see how they.
I think there's some interesting categories here that we're talking about. 854. Do I need to change the promo? You've mentioned now two candidates in this race, but there's three people running for governor.
We have not received any confirmation that Governor Felix Camacho will show up. So I don't know if he'll just pop in or if I'm not sure what's going on there.
But confirmation. In fact, not just confirmation, but the team of Lou and Josh actually bought ads in the platform 2022. Mike Nicholas has confirmed that he's going to participate, but there has not been a whisper yes or no or shove it up your whatever from the Republicans.
There were grumblings from underlings that said yes. A couple said no. I don't know where they stand with it.
But you'll have a seat at the table if Felix does show up. Does he know where it is? Maybe that's the thing. Have you dropped the pin? Is he not allowed to go to the PDN building anymore?
He's coming to our studio. He and Tony Abbott are to the point, and so they know where it's at. And I'm sure if he shows up, he'll do very well because he did very well in the interview.
We will carry the debate. You've got an after show planned with, among others, Juan Carlos Benitez, representative of the Republican Party of Guam, and Ginger Cruz?
Yes, so the Democrats said that they're sending Ginger Cruz. I talked to Juan Carlos Benitez this morning. It's going to be either him or an alternate from the Republican Party. And Dr. Ron McNinch will be the moderator for a post-debate analysis.
Well, he's going to be in the studio here in a few minutes talking about the Depp Heard trial for some reason. But having said that, that is kind of interesting. Now, is Ginger with the Democratic Party of Guam? Or is she part of the Lou campaign, or is she working at Adelup? I knew that she was kind of in and around, but I didn't know that she was representative of anything.
I asked for a representative from the Democratic Party. Well, I asked for Tony Vivalto or a representative, and we're getting Ginger Cruz. So,
how interesting is that? Do me a favor. Have Ron dig into her credentials. What is she actually up to?
You mean currently?
Yeah.
Wasn't she like an assistant secretary or inspector general or something? She's like some high-level position in Washington.
Yeah.
Makes proud and all that, you know?
Oh, absolutely. I was one of the first faces that she saw when she came back to Guam. I was treated to some refreshments at the that fancy floor they've got over at the Dusit with that long swimming pool thing.
Oh
yeah. I was there. It's not quite as exciting as the 19th floor, but I'm just saying, 8:57 and change. All right, so interesting conversation. So we haven't heard anything from Felix, but definitely it's a go show. So what will end up here is if Felix doesn't show up, then this is a Democrat Party debate.
If Mike Nicholas is running as a Democrat, then yeah. But otherwise, if he's running as an independent in a three-way race, then if Governor Camacho doesn't show up, he's lost out on an opportunity to express himself and his views before our audiences, at least in this first debate.
Yeah. Well, I'm certainly disappointed if he does not show up, but I think it would be just as exciting if it was, because that's where the race is. It's not a question of Felix needing to beat anybody in 87 days. It's a question of who is going to be the representative moving into the general election for the Democrats, and it's anybody's race, they say, at this point. So we'll watch and see how they respond to the questions that will be posed to them on the platform. It'll be played on Candid's page. It will be played on 93.3 The Point. We have given Eric Rosario privileges to take over our Facebook stream at will. And so we'll do that. And there's a couple other disaster scenarios that I've got in my head just in case one or the other or all of them don't work. But we will get this thing online. We tested it out yesterday, and it sounded and looked absolutely terrific. So I'll watch. Where are you going to be? You're going to be there, right?
Yeah, I'll be there, but I'll be in the office area, not in the studio.
Okay.
Can I just say that this is my first gubernatorial election since 2002. Has nothing to do with any campaigns. And debate nights have always been pins and needles. There's excitement, but there's also like, oh gosh, I really hope my candidate does well. I really hope my candidate doesn't, I hope Eddie Calvo doesn't on the way to the stage talk to someone and get some crazy lame brain idea and change his opening statement. You know what I mean?
And it will be interesting because we don't have to worry about the audience taking over either. 8:59 and change. You have a terrific day. I'm looking forward to this. You've put everything together. I honestly have just been kind of on the side here with my ideas and my commentary. I'm more of a roadie than anything else. I think you've done an outstanding job, and it says a lot about what Candid has become in the last couple of years.
Well, I mean, to be honest, it's not. This has been Eric's show. Eric has been pulling his hair out. He's been really mean to us and yelling and all that stuff. He's the boss of this whole thing, and so a shout out to Eric Rosario. All
right. Well, I'm looking forward to more just like this. It's 9 o'clock in the morning, Cousin Troy. You have a fantastic rest of the day, and we'll round it all out tomorrow. My prediction. Are you ready for my prediction now?
Yeah.
Both sides will claim victory.
That's absolutely.
The press release has already been written. It will go out tonight at 7:45.
There will be commercials dropped at 11 p.m.
All right, bro. You have a great one. I'll talk to you later. It's time for Fox News on the Point.
Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin and Joint Chiefs of Staff Chair General Mark Milley for a wreath-laying ceremony at the tomb of the unknown soldier. Sheriff's deputies in Florida have arrested a 10-year-old fifth-grade student accused of threatening to shoot up a school. Investigators learned of the threats made by the boy on Saturday and arrested him. In a social media post, Lee County Sheriff Carmen Marcenos calls the student's behavior sickening, especially after the recent tragedy in Uvalde, Texas. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky visited the city of Kharkiv over the weekend, a town in the Donbas region that's been heavily targeted by Russian forces.
Russian troops are making small territorial gains in eastern Ukraine as leadership here in Kyiv calls for more international support. Those same forces have now entered the city of Severodonetsk, where an estimated 90% of the buildings are destroyed, according to the Ukrainians. Many civilians do remain trapped there, sheltering underground. A French journalist was killed in eastern Ukraine, further highlighting the dangers of covering this war.
Fox's Trey Yingst is in Kyiv, Ukraine. The Eastern Pacific season's first hurricane is expected to affect Mexico's southern coast with dangerous storm surge and flooding. Hurricane Agatha formed yesterday and quickly gained power. America's listening to Fox News.
Come try Guam's original Chamorro restaurant with Pica's best 5 years running. Mezcla Chamorro Fusion Bistro. Experience Chef Peter's candied salmon over scallion coconut rice, octopus to naktak, Chamorro platter, and their award-winning gourmet hamburgers. Or if you're looking for something healthy, try their keto-friendly menu. Come and enjoy Mezcla's half-a-day service at their Hagåtña and Grand Plaza Tuman location. Call their Hagåtña location at 479-2652 for reservations.
Take advantage of FHP Health Center's Back to School Early Bird Special. Before summer gets too busy, make an appointment now to update your child's immunizations, PPD skin tests, and sports physicals. Call FHP Pediatrics. Most insurance plans accepted, including TRICARE, Medicaid, and self-pay patients. Call for an appointment. 671-646-5825. Press 1. Go to FHPGuam.com for more information. FHP, our island, your clinic.
A Senate Democrat says Washington is talking about what to do when it comes to mass shootings.
Connecticut Democratic Senator Chris Murphy is from the district where the deadly Sandy Hook shooting happened 10 years ago. On ABC's This Week, he said talks are ongoing with Republicans about the mental health and school security aspects of these incidents, but also
red flag laws. We're talking about strengthening and expanding the background check system, if not universal background checks. We're talking about safe storage.
He says whatever comes of it, it's important that Americans see there's no impasse in Congress that will prevent addressing the gun violence issue. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
President Biden today said there may be some bipartisan support to tighten restrictions on the kind of high-powered weapons used by the gunman in the Texas school shooting. The president says some Republicans who've been against more gun restrictions may have been jolted by the massacre into what he calls a more rational approach. A number of celebrations planned this week for Queen Elizabeth's Jubilee.
Queen Elizabeth is marking 70 years of service, the first British monarch to do so. The Queen, who is 96 years old, officially reached the 7-decade mark earlier this year on February 6th. Because she succeeded her father, King George VI, when he died, the start of her reign is also his death date, which is why she celebrates it 4 months later. Events began on Thursday with the Queen's birthday parade and Trooping the Color, a display of military pageantry. Continuing with a service of Thanksgiving on Friday, the Derby on Saturday, attended by the royal family, and the big Jubilee lunch on Sunday. Tanya J. Powers, Fox News.
Tom Cruise experienced his first $100 million opening weekend, with Top Gun Maverick earning an estimated $124 million over the holiday weekend. Doctor Strange 2 was this weekend's second-place movie. I'm Rich Dennison, and this is Fox News.
Candid News Group and The Point present Platform 2022, the Gubernatorial Debate, hosted by Phil Leon Guerrero and Montecillo Tyron, May 31st at 5:30 everywhere. Live streamed on Candid, live on 93.3 ThePOINT.gu, Facebook. Former Governor Felix P. Camacho, Congressman Mike Sinicolas, and Governor Lou Leon Guerrero.
Brought to you by the Committee to Re-elect Leon Guerrero Tenorio and by Linda's Diner.
Federal Reserve is starting to increase interest rates to fight inflation, but they're still so low, making it the perfect time to refinance your home, to lower your rate, and perhaps take advantage of its increased value to put some cash in your pocket during these uncertain times. Cash that you can have the freedom to access when you want, where you want, with your Bank Pacific Visa debit card. Lower your rate, put cash in your pocket. Access your cash when you want, where you want, with your Visa debit card. Where there's put branches, we place roots, and we're rooting for you. Equal housing lender, credit conditions apply.
Subway's Eat Fresh Refresh does it again, bringing back a classic fan favorite on the menu. The roast beef returns. And not just any roast beef, it's choice Angus roast beef, flavorful and satisfying on its own, or layered with oven-roasted turkey and Black Forest ham in the Subway Club. Whether you're a choice Angus roast beef purist or like the variety of the Subway Club, both come piled high on hearty multi-grain bread with fresh hand-sliced veggies. Get your fill of the new roast beef at Subway. Eat fresh.
How about portions of the Raymond Gibson Show being brought to you by the team over at APL, American President Lines, global presence with a local home, and also the guys over at NissanGuam.com on the World Wide Web. Everybody got an idea. I think I'm going to get me this kind of car. I think I'm going to get me that kind of car. You know what? Get a Nissan. I'll just tell you right now, they have one on the lot that will meet all of your requirements. Are you looking for something safe? Maybe there's something for your mom to drive. Maybe something for your wife that's going to be driving it. Maybe you got a 16, 17-year-old daughter, and that's the most important thing, right? Because you sit around going, okay, she's going to be fiddling with her makeup, playing with the radio, maybe looking at her phone. I need something that she can walk away from. All of these cars at Nissan, safety in the DNA. It's built in. They don't take a step without considering safety first with these cars. And then the other factor that we have to consider, gasoline today is at $6.20 a gallon. It went up on base. It's going to go up on this side of the fence as well because Tampa Crude is trading at $122 per barrel. It's going up, and you need something that is going to get you further down the road than the other guy. And the Nissans all have spectacular mileage. They got mileage on this car. It's 35 miles to the gallon in that Sentra, right? So check it out today at NissanGuam.com.
News to fill your mind. Talk to get it out. The Ray Gibson Show. Call now, 888-8255.
7 after 9 o'clock in the morning, Ray Gibson Show, just cause. What is it, Tuesday morning? Got to remind everybody it is Tuesday. It feels like a Monday, but it's a 3-day weekend. So the good news is it's Tuesday, but it's a short week. It's I only have to wake up early 3 more times. I got today down. And, yeah, that was kind of weird. When the alarm went off today, I'd kind of, in my head, get a little bit of a habit and reaching for it and telling it to shove because I don't have to go to work. But today is one of those days where, yeah, I guess there's a little bit of work that needs to get done. So studio time here. A little bit later on, I'm going to install another part of the system so that we can carry the audio from the Candid Studios tonight. That's going to be fun. And I want to say thank you very much to folks that were involved in the creation of the questions. You would think that, hey, it's Ray Gibson, it's Point, and they're presenters on this. Maybe we'll get some interesting and pointed questions coming for Ray, the hard questions for these candidates. That's what we're going to begin. But because both Troy and I were mostly interested in putting together a debate where we could assure the folks that are going to be participants that there would not be any bias one way or the other, for or against. Both of us kind of backed away and said, we'll find somebody else to do it. Phil Leon Guerrero, excellent talk show host, great writer in the Guam Daily Post, wonderful and warm journalist, is going to be among the moderators. Monticello Tyron, who does the news here at the radio station, is going to be amongst the provider. And they did not even come up with the questions. Independent panel made up of guys like Dr. Ron McNinch was part of the process. So do we have all of you on the screen? There it is. All right. So Dr. Ron McNinch was part of it. Dr. Judy Guthertz was also part of it. So we got a couple of guys, public administration, and just generally everything to be able to put together these questions. And one of the other things was, I'm not familiar with all of the ground rules that you had, but nobody was to write or ask a question that was specific to a particular candidate. So it's not going to be one of those, hey, Lou, why did you sit back and let the economy die and wither under COVID-19? There were other ways. Other people were offering you advice. Why did you choose the one that shut down the restaurants, shut down the schools, shut down the bars, and sent everybody home where they had to fend for themselves and let the government of Guam employees, continue to, quote, work from home?
Hey, half a day, Ray, half a day, Guam. Yeah,
not allowed to ask that kind of question. So you can see, you can also see why I'm not going to be a participant in this. I'm a technician tonight. That's the role that I'm going to have. So if you can't hear it on 93.3, that means I screwed something up. Hey, good to have you in the studio.
Oh, it's been a while. Great. It's great to see you.
Well, so 10 after 9. I'm sitting over at Carabao Sunday because they have a thing called Sando Sundays. I don't go every Sunday, but they put together one of my favorite kind of sandwiches in the world. It was a Philly cheesesteak, and it was fantastic. And I don't like peppers, but they had some red peppers in there that added to the flavor. I'm not crazy about onions, but the way they caramelized them there was so good. And I'm not sure what kind of cow they used, but mine was very, very tasty. And the beer sauce on fries. Did you get that?
I loved everything.
It was so good. It took me a couple of minutes to finish the thing. Usually I remember to take a picture of it after I've consumed it. At any rate, 9/11. So I'm sitting there and I'm getting ready to get my sandwich in. Here comes Dr. Ron McNinch. And we just talking as we usually do about general stuff. But in this case, you were talking about the Depp Heard trial.
Right.
And you believe that there are Depp Heard people out there.
Oh, there are many.
Depp Heard people that would like to get together amongst themselves and talk about the trial.
Right. You can't, for a lot of people, and I mean a substantial number, not just a small number, people talk about it, they argue about it, they go back and forth on it. And for me, it was just the O.J. Simpson trial really helped people to see that how the criminal justice process worked.
Yeah.
And so for me,
But the strange thing about that was it was a criminal justice system in Hollywood, and I tell you what, from the judge on down, that was a show trial.
And I think it can be readily argued this is a show trial also for the civil side, for things like civil litigation, and the public is actually getting some very good lessons on how civil litigation works, as they got with the O.J. Simpson trial with criminal procedure and things like that. But I got to tell you, I believe in something called Occam's razor, and Occam's razor is all else equal, the most simple explanation is probably the one that's the most likely. I think Johnny Depp just drank too much and did too many drugs and got mean, and he got called out on it.
Okay. Now there are going to be some people that disagree with you on that. Yeah. Mona Silva Tyrant says she's firmly in Team Depp.
Right.
Team Johnny Depp.
How dare you, dog?
Wait a second. Wait. Hold on. Now, you and I haven't talked about this. This is my producer, Real Joe Cruz, that just chimed in and is taking an opposing viewpoint on this. I didn't realize that you were paying any attention to the Depp Heard trial at all.
Every line.
No way.
Yeah.
That's what you do when you leave here.
Yeah. I get alerted to little segments that are happening here and there, and people analyzing, even lawyers that analyze this thing.
Right.
And they laugh. They sit back and they laugh at the other lawyers.
Yeah,
and the questions they're asking. Yeah,
well,
it's fun.
So one of the things, my takeaway. Now, I was interviewed for a podcast at Kaz Endo's place, and we started that with a 10-minute piece from Mojo that would, I don't know, it was a primer on if you just tuned in, here's what you've missed. Up to and including the judge who was on this sitting on the trial, and I'm looking at the judge, and I'm sure she's wondering and out loud maybe many times a day wondering how the hell she managed to get on this case. What skinny straw did I pull? What short straw did I pull that I got this case? I mean, there's got to be 100 other more important and substantial cases that need to get through the docket.
This is the top case of her life, and she knows it. This is really, literally, it's like the Judge Ito effect. Judge Ito's the pinnacle of his life was the O.J. Simpson trial. The pinnacle of this particular judge's life is going to be this civil litigation with Johnny Depp.
But she always looks like she's either just rolled her eyes or she's about to. Every time that I've seen the camera go to her, she's got this kind of, oh my God.
Well, here's the interesting thing, and this is something someone asked me, is something that some people don't really get are all of the objections that are being made by both sides. Every other word's an objection.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because when you're going before a judge and you're arguing your case only in front of a judge, that's one thing. But when you're arguing in front of a jury when you do all this objection nonsense, it turns the jury off because the jury want to hear the narrative. The jury, like the public, want to hear the story. And then when they raise objections, you wonder why. Why are they objecting? You know, there has to be something behind it. So that's how the normal person, when they hear objections, thinks. And the lawyer may think that they're scoring points and that they're keeping stuff out of the record.
Yeah.
But the jury often doesn't rely on the record when they make their decisions. They make very emotional decisions.
And I think it's going to be hard in this case for there not to be a decision that, and you're right. I think maybe people that are following along at the civil level and thinking in those kinds of terms, maybe they will be more satisfied with a verdict because it will feel relative to them. It'll feel like it's relevant. Maybe is the word I'm looking for, as opposed to you throw everything in the hands of a jury in a criminal trial, and it's guilty, not guilty. In this case, there could be different shades of guilt in either direction. What's at stake here? I mean, what are the damages likely to be?
Well, I think the biggest damage, and this may come out
to Amber Heard's career, obviously.
Well, ready for this, and Real Joe Cruz may or may not agree with me on this. I think they're going to get back together after all this is over. I really do. I mean,
he never lets her see his eyes. And
I know.
He never will again.
Right.
That's what he said.
Right.
That's heavy, man.
Well, yeah, but you never say never.
That's the other point.
Never say never.
Right.
I mean, it's Hollywood. We're not. Here's the look. I know people from Hollywood, California. I know folks that live that weird lifestyle, and they're all, to a man and woman, they're all crazy. There's something that happens to you when you get into that la la land. That it's inescapable. So it would not surprise me. You're right. It would not surprise me in the very least that they go through all of this stuff. And never mind. At the end of it, can we just be friends? Is it possible that they could get back together
And have kids?
Oh my God. You okay? Yeah, you gonna be all right?
Maybe 2 or 3.
I don't know.
There's going to be riots in the streets.
There's some memes floating around, obviously, and I think my favorite one is where we've got Dr. Evil from the Austin Powers movies saying he's going to sue her for $1 million because she's wearing an exact, looks like a Dr. Evil suit. You know which one I'm talking about?
I do.
Yeah. They're waiting for a mini-me to pop out.
Dr. Evil.
Do all of that. Tattoo Shauna online, but she blanked on the bed.
Well, no, I think,
Rico Blancaflor says Depp Heard makeup sex will be off the rails. Now, remember, again, Hollywood, Pam Anderson. Do we remember that one? Her and Tommy Lee, right? What's her name? The Barbie doll chick, Paris Hilton. These people are revered in Hollywood because they've been able to, any of the Kardashians. Peter Santos says, I always bet on the opposite of whatever Ron predicts. Oh, that's too bad because he was predicting that you'd win the race for Attorney General. Marvin Francisco watching the program.
By the way, who is Peter Santos? I'm sorry.
Colin then blames the dog. Excuse me, the size of the dog doesn't make Poopy bigger than Cheese Whiz. Oh my God, that's part of the conversation in the trial, isn't it? That couldn't possibly be the dog's. It's too big. That's a people-sized poop.
That's a dookie.
Colin Clark says, I'm for Johnny Depp. Any woman that blanks on the bed deliberately, Kaduku and manipulative. What was it?
Well,
Chris Rabbits is there.
I think that she was the one who said that he had those issues. So for all we know, it could be him.
Yeah. Well, so I get it. I understand. It's is there a there but for the grace of God go I scenario? Do you think for a lot of definitely Hollywood men, but you suppose men in particular? Do you think that there might be some of that? Is that something that I should be concerned about as an example?
Well, here's the thing.
Because I like to drink and party and have a good time. Is it possible that somebody might one of these days say, let me just tell you about some of the strange antics that happen after Ray's had more than 3 drinks?
Not in America. And I think that that's a point about this trial a lot of people miss, is that this arose from a Sun article where the Sun newspaper in England called Johnny Depp a wife beater. So then he goes after them. And in England, defamation is like their thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the bar for defamation and libel slander is much lower in England than it is here. And so it's far easier to get a defamation ruling for you in the UK than it is here. And so he brought the son to court, and he dragged them through the dirt, and the son prevailed. And so then he had to double down in the U.S. So they're in Virginia because I guess that's where the Washington Post has their headquarters or whatever, or some kind of press activity. And so then he doubles down and sues her in Virginia just to try to redeem his name, because he's already lost in a far easier jurisdiction. Yeah. And so now what is he going to do? And so then she writes this op-ed, or she doesn't write it. Actually, the ACLU wrote an opinion for her to put her name on as an ambassador to domestic abuse or whatever.
Okay.
Doesn't even name Depp. But, he claims, because we were married, you must be talking about me.
Yeah,
and so then he ends up doing this very histrionic and really petty move, because some would argue, and some social work types, I'm not that kind of type, I'm more of a behavioralist, would argue that this is just an extension of his domestic abusing behavior, that dragging her through the dirt and saying all kinds of mean things about her to the U.S. press is just one other form of abuse. And so, yeah.
And is the U.S. press more favorable to Johnny Depp in this? I'm like my buddy William John Shadowin online here that says, where's he talking about? Basically, I don't know who Heard is. Didn't know her until this trial. I didn't know she crapped on Johnny Depp. I haven't paid any attention. To the degree that William is probably, and I'm not hearing about this. Yeah, I'm a Fox guy. I'm not hearing a whole lot about it on the Fox, so I'm just assuming that the rest of the media, mainstream media, is eating all of this stuff up with a spoon and has picked Johnny Depp because, well, he's Pirate of the Caribbean.
But also, if you look at demographics, he fits a specific 80s to 90s demographic for quite a number of women. And so this is the spurned woman. And by the way, here's the interesting thing about it is
21 Jump Street, is that what I'm thinking about?
Right,
from back
right, in the 80s.
Yeah, he was a bit part in Platoon.
Right, and he had a neat role in Platoon with Oliver Stone, and also
God, what's Eating
Charlie
Gilbert Grape?
Sheen.
What a great movie that is!
Right.
Some of the other ones, I didn't like him in the Willy Wonka. I don't like what he did to that character. I don't like what they did to the movie. Yeah, Scissorhands was just bizarre. It didn't make a whole. I'm still trying to come to grips with what the gist of that story. What am I supposed to feel guilty about from watching Edward Scissorhands? But go on.
Donnie Bosco, I mean, neat roles. I mean, he's had some really good roles, and he was a mega superstar. But the thing is, he fits a particular demographic with women who really want to view him in a sort of way they view Keanu Reeves, who they think is like the perfect male from the 80s.
Yes.
But all of this inside behavior, and you end up seeing just how lavish of a life Depp lives. Yeah. And he has like an Elvis sort of generosity. That is, he gives gifts to people constantly. He constantly is, just lavishing everyone around him with positives. And so suddenly this little pipsqueak girl, who, I mean, she's like 23 when they first meet. He's double her age, and not
that there's anything wrong with that.
And then he feels cuckolded by her because anytime she looks at a man or a woman, he feels suddenly ugly, and he gets all crazy with her in public.
I thought chicks don't like that. When did that change? Sorry, a man of a certain generation, speaking on the radio. Big Sister Shelley talking about the case. She says, think Fatal Attraction meets single white female. Rico Blancaflor asking, did they do DNA testing on the poop? Maybe Depp's the one who doo-dooed. Shelley, again, chiming in, says she is a sociopath. Eric Rosario online. This is, even Colin Clark is chiming in. Says there are other actors that have sided with Depp as to the character of Amber. My God, you guys are really paying attention to this. But John Ananich, I haven't really followed the trial, but it seems more like a TV series than an actual trial, the way it brings conversation among people. And that's the point that we're trying to prove here this morning. Right. That's the point. When Ron was saying, let me get on the radio and talk about it, and I'm going, nobody cares. This is a talk radio, Guam, as political season, as people dealing with high prices for, well, okay, everything except crystal methamphetamine. Way to go, Lou. But you know, that's what people are talking about these days. And come to find out, I'm really, in many cases, not in touch with what my audience is thinking about, because all of a sudden people like Rico, like Shelley, like John, like Dennis are chiming in and talking about this trial.
Well, you know, Amber Heard, literally, if you ever watch Shakespeare's Taming of the Shrew, she's exactly like the Kate character in Taming of the Shrew. The girl is a walking witch. And I agree. No, but the thing is, you know, while that may have been true, and they broke up because of it, it doesn't in any way excuse the other bad behavior. And I think that, and then the other thing is just everything that she was testifying to and that was in the record says he's a controlling, jealous, petty guy. And when you have,
so the two of them collide personality-wise. It is exactly what they tell you to avoid in the zodiacs, right? What are you, Taurus? Okay, Taurus should only date these kinds of people. If you are a Taurus and you date outside of this small, limited list, it will all end in tears. And near as I can tell, there is no good zodiac sign for me. I date outside the race. 9:27 in the morning. Who's on one?
It's a Michelle.
I know Michelle.
You could guess.
Okay. Hey, Hava.
Hello.
My God.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning. Hava day.
Hey, so I got a question here.
Wait.
Now,
I got to introduce you the right way. This is my hot sister in Christ.
Okay.
Right? No. You are a spirit guide for me at this age for the Catholic Church and current Catholic thinking, and so I like to think of you as my hot sister in Christ. You are hot.
I'm your spiritual guides, and I need to work on you a little bit there, Ray.
I'll take that. Okay, so chime in by all means. Dr. Rod McNinch wants to talk about Amber Heard and Johnny Depp.
Yeah. Now, I was listening to some other attorneys talking about how they should have worked on Johnny Depp during his testimony, but no, turn it down, please. Sorry. I think that he was actually pretty charming during his testimony.
Wow.
Yeah, no doubt.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Do you think because they're thinking that maybe he should have been trained a little bit more, but they're also thinking that maybe he just refused to do what he was supposed to do or act the way he was supposed to act during the trial, during his testimony.
He is very much his own personality. I mean, we've known this from other Johnny Depp sort of controversies over the years. Remember when you made that comment about America is like a puppy dog, a bad puppy dog, and everybody kind of...
Oh, and what he said about Trump, all of that just drove me crazy. But I am just falling in love with Johnny Depp right now.
Well,
I'm jealous.
I think that part of it is he's been used to conning people his whole life. And that's the reality, and especially women. He's used to charming and conning women his whole life. And if you look at how he wooed Amber Heard, which was part of the narrative in the trial, he was trying to be as romantic as possible at every encounter, whether there was anything romantic going on with them at all or not. And she even admits that she still loves him to this day because of that. And that's why I think they're going to get back together, by the way.
You think they're going to get back together?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I do.
I think. Well, after what she did to his career, I don't think that's going to happen. But
let's just for a second, because I'm again coming in from the outside on this, and the fact that Michelle, that you are paying attention to it, clearly means that I've got to do better by way of watching what happens in pop culture. But I mean, he's Johnny Depp. Somewhere along the lines, I'm sure people are sending him scripts right now. Okay, you cannot be Jack Sparrow again, but there's 100 other stories with characters just like Jack Sparrow that you can take on in the future.
And I had absolutely no idea what was going on until they started talking about the trial on the Daily Wire. Because I love watching the Daily Wire with Michael Knowles and Matt Walsh. But when they started talking, I had no idea who Amber Heard was. I saw maybe bits and pieces of Aquaman on TV, but had absolutely no interest. Johnny Depp was just kind of a guy that did weird movies for the most part. He was the cute guy on 21 Jump Street, but I was more of a Richard Grieco kind of girl. So, I really wasn't into it too much. And which, by the way, while 21 Jump Street was on, I was in high school the whole time. So I didn't even really watch it all that much. I saw an episode here and there, but right now I'm just like intrigued with what's going on. And he's done some terrible things, but I think maybe because I despise her so much that it makes even him, the drug addict, alcoholic, guy who speaks in a way that I am not very fond of, it makes me want to root for him. And then I'm looking back in the old days and I'm thinking, wow, he's a lot cuter than I remember. So I think
but Michelle, I think that speaks of several things. First, I think you probably have a spirit of forgiveness and that you believe that people can redeem themselves after they've went through negatives. I think that the whole nostalgic, looking back, hey, I didn't see that in this guy, 30, 40 years ago, and now I see it. There's a lot of elements that you're kind of inferring here that I think are quite interesting that kind of help to color why this is such a neat subject.
Among many points, I'm personally intrigued that there's something out there that curls Michelle's toes. We need to discuss over drinks. It's 9:32 in the morning, Michelle. I'll talk to you pretty soon.
Okay.
Good luck with everything you and the Vigilance Committee are up to.
Oh, I don't have anything to do with them anymore, but thank you.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, see, now we do got to get caught up. All right. I'll be looking for your beep later on. Michelle Armenta on the line here, 9:32 in the morning. John Ananich thinks you're his realtor. Yeah, okay. We'll set that. In fact, maybe that's where we'll do it. 9:32 in the morning. I'm scrolling through some pictures while Michelle was talking, and there's a picture of a woman that is looking at Johnny Depp the same way that I think Michelle might be looking at.
God.
Her name is Camille Vasquez.
She's a hot attorney. His attorney, and they've been flirting through this whole thing.
He's looking at the camera, but she's there's an eyeball embrace going on here. Actually,
she's swooning.
There might be some of that. So what's the story with Camille Vasquez? Ron?
She's just the attorney, and she's a younger attorney, and they openly show them hugging at certain key points of the trial. They're doing it obviously to mug for the media, and she's a younger attorney. Kind of they're pitting her as the aggressive young female attorney versus the aggressive young Amber Heard to create kind of a tension with the jury, I think. And
this is so Hollywood. I mean, what is it, everything? So we've got brunette woman of color, I guess, and you've got Amber, who's the blondie, white chick.
Oh yeah,
crazy white broad.
Right.
And it's going to be the girl. It's going to be Jenny from the block. It's going to be Jenny from the block as the lawyer here. This is already. I'm sure they probably already casted her, right? Jennifer Lopez in that role, right?
This is a soap opera. That's what this is.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Clearly. What I'm checking to see what the folks are saying. Johnny's a liar. He's lying. They're all coming out of the woodwork to lie. Dennis Benzer, it just is amber. That's sometimes you know when he writes things like that, I can actually see him drool. It's funny. We got Sandra Regis. I believe she was once a realtor. Okay. Shelley says, "Dude, it's time for us to meet up. No way, innocent." Rico says she's hot. John Ananis, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Part 2. Rico says most gals side with Depp because he's a charmer. A movie within a movie. Hence the multiverse, says James Howard. Definitely not AOC. I'd end up in a domestic. Shelley says, get back together. Not happening. She's third rate. Mark Anthony is watching and probably wondering what it is that he tuned into. William says, she's too white. White women are crazy, like serious crazy. Not Filipina Chamorro crazy. It's a stinky crazy you run from.
And she's from the South, too, so she's a Southern white woman.
I can't believe some of this stuff I'm reading up on. William says she's hotter than the wife. That's Depp's attorney. Wow. After all the Depp Amber shenanigans, Tom Cruise looks normal.
Yes.
There's another one. You remember when Tommy was with the girl and told Oprah how much in love she was, and then she turned on the Scientology bit, and that was it.
Katie,
what's
her name?
I can't remember.
Katie
She was
Holmes.
gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous, and you just wonder how is it possible that Tom Cruise could screw up life so badly that he lost that beauty queen. 9:35,
and they tried to cancel him. Remember the guy after he jumped on the couch?
Yeah.
The head of the studio tried to cancel him, but Cruise was too much of a big money guy to even let that happen, and so he was able to thwart their attempts to shut him down.
Tom Cruise's best role, I don't care about Top Gun, his best role was the music producer in Tropic Thunder. No, it was an agent.
He was dancing, and
I'm learning that dance. I'm learning that dance as we speak. It's 9:36 on the Ray Gibson Show, and we've been talking about the Depp Heard trial. Now, many people that I think like me are going, okay, this is a setup. This is an attention grabber. Everything was formulated. It was concocted in order to bring the world to distract.
It could be.
To distract the citizens of the United States, maybe even around the world, where obviously you said this played out in England before. No doubt that they're taking a break from the Queen's big Jubilee coming up, taking a break from that to watch and see how different this case is in America as it was in Europe. But what are we being distracted from is the question. Dave Duenas earlier was talking about he's not paying attention to it. You know, he lives on the ground with all of us mere mortals, worried about the price of gasoline and the price of food and the hospitals and the schools and all of those kinds of things. I ain't got time to watch no Depp Heard trial. What is it that we are being distracted from? Ponder that. And I'm going to give you some time. We got to take a quick break here. When we return, we'll swing the conversation back over into something that feels a little bit more normal for me. And that is, what the hell else is going on in the world? We have been on this crazy roller coaster cascade of a ride where we have gone from one significant tectonic issue to another. COVID, Afghanistan, the entire Biden presidency, this chain of events that we have been living through. Is this here to provide us some kind of a respite, some kind of a relief, a distraction from what feels like the world is going off the rails? We'll get Dr. McNinch's answers and yours. You're more than welcome to type stuff in on the Facebook Live. Sorry, I haven't had a chance to check in with the YouTube guys. I'll do that while the break's playing.
Win a $100 gas card when you purchase Gasolina energy drinks. Be one of 5 winners and enter now when you purchase 3 for $4 Gasolina 8-ounce or 3 for $5 Gasolina 16-ounce energy drinks. Drawing on June 21st. Free gas with 76 Circle K. Take it easy.
Ice, baby.
Get a 10-pound bag of ice for only 95 cents when you purchase a 12-pack or more of any soda or beer. Only 95 cents for a 10-pound bag of ice. Swing by Circle K today. Some conditions apply. See stores for details. Circle K. Take it easy.
Ice, baby.
Check out the newest hydro and garden center to hit Guam, Crop King Hydro. We have a huge selection of plant nutrients, soils, hydroponic mediums, organic pest control pumps, plant support, tools, and so much more. Call 635-4769. 635-GROW. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 6 at the Dededo Satina Mall, right across from Payless and Paradise Fitness. For whatever you grow, think Crop King Hydro. Crop King Hydro.
Get big discounts on huge travel experiences with the First Hawaiian Bank United Credit Card. You can travel to destinations in the USA and receive 10% off selected United Airlines Premium Economy or Business Class airfares purchased through May 31st, 2022 when you use promo code FHB022. Visit any First Hawaiian Bank branch or go to FHB.com/United Fair Sale 10 for more information. Don't wait. Apply today. First Hawaiian Bank. It all starts with yes.
There it is. That's what I'm looking for. This might be the high point of all Tom Cruise movies when he plays Lee Grossman in Tropic Thunder. That is the shot, ladies and gentlemen. There it is. This is a testimony to the incredible range that Tom Cruise brings to the big screen. Just saying, 20 minutes away from 9 o'clock in the morning. And yeah, as Tom Cruise has gone through his bouts with the cancel culture, he's gone through the nonsense of having his relationships play out virtually in real time on little screens and big screens. So it lines up with the thinking that I think many people here in the program and listening to the show are feeling, and that is, this is all kind of a setup. This is all just the tail wagging the dog here. We've gone through COVID. And for some of us, the jarring loss of the presidency with Donald Trump losing. I still don't understand how to Joe Biden. Then we've dealt with Afghanistan, the price of virtually everything going up, and the lack seemingly of the capability of this administration or anybody in Congress or anybody in the legislature or ad loop to be able to get us back on track any faster than we are right now. Is this just the great distractor?
Bread and circuses.
Well, it's the whole Roman thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So the bread and circuses refers to a bread stipend that was given out by the emperor to all of the citizens of Rome, because it's hard to be mad when you've got a full stomach.
And free entertainment. So we built the Colosseum that holds a whole gaggle of people, and we give them we give them all the information that they want, and they have games as often as they possibly can to keep the crowd distracted from whatever the urgency was with their emperor or their Senate. Right.
So it's thousands of years in the making, as it were.
Well, I think this is a very old game. I think that this game is just, it has social media, it has the internet, it has other modalities and dimensions rather than a guy shouting the news on a corner, every other corner. Which is what the town crier would do.
Yeah. Well, I'm recently become a fan. I watch him every day. He puts an episode on YouTube, but I love Russell Brand. Russell Brand is doing, I think, an outstanding job pointing out the connections between big government, big corporate, and big media. All three of them working together to keep us just two steps behind what is really, really going on. The things that they're able to illustrate in that program, but at some point, you kind of got to wake up from all this dreamy stuff about Hollywood and the antics of Jack Sparrow and Amber Heard.
In the 1930s, that was an era of grand movie making, and part of it was a distraction from the Great Depression. And so that was like the era of when the big movie studios just took off and kind of grabbed the public's attention, along with radio.
Yeah.
Radio took off in the 1930s as a major distraction to the Great Depression, because it was a form of entertainment. You didn't have to be able to read anything. No. You could do other things and listen to a story while you were working. I mean, there are all kinds of interesting dynamics, and social media and the internet are simply extensions of those other types of media distractions.
Okay, so the answer is yes.
Right.
It absolutely is, and big government and big corporate and big media getting together telling everybody, don't pay attention to anything else going on. This might be it, kids. This is the big story. Forget about inflation. Forget about the price of gasoline. Forget about the school shootings, although they're not letting go of that one in this particular time. But forget about all of that stuff. We've got to keep our eye focused on what Johnny Depp said in court today, what Amber Heard is saying, and my God, that cute what's her name? What's her name?
Cassandra.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Vasquez,
whatever. Oh my God, so hot. But anyway, so watch all of that stuff. So that's fine. I'll buy it. What are we being distracted from? Is it those big headline cases that we were talking about with the COVID and the economy and the war in Ukraine?
I think it's just
what else is happening? What is the deep state doing that they don't want me to see?
I think it's just an attack on the misery index. I think that there is a thing called the misery index. It's reactions that people have to inflation and to other negative conditions, the cost of everything, and this is just a big distraction from it. And for a lot of people, it's probably a welcome distraction because it's not serious. You know, Amber Heard and Johnny Depp
will die.
Right, Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. There's nothing serious at all about this. This is just bad adult
And in fact,
behavior.
nobody died. You know, you compared it with the OJ trial. Right. 2 people died. Right. That's why it's a murder trial. Right. This is not a murder trial. This is a bad manners trial.
Right. This is a trial about a young girl, wannabe gold digger to some, hooks up with an older cuckolded guy. I mean, this has all of the elements, as you said, of a great movie. You can just change the names around and come out with your own edition of it. And Shakespeare and Taming of the Shrew did the exact same thing.
There's the commentary. Watched An American Tale last night. It's a cartoon movie about a mouse immigrant. Hilarious how it fits right about now. Watched Trial because Lincoln lawyer season is over, said Shelley. Johnny Boy and Sweet Amber just can't get enough of each other, and Rico's calling it the poopy trial. So, but like I said, if there's a distraction, is it the distraction away from the hard times? A welcome respite, as you say. For people to be able to just kind of plug in and see what's happening and go, okay, I can safely if this is the news now, it's safe for me to watch it. And because nobody's trying to scare me. In fact, was it you that just said a minute ago that nobody's wearing a mask?
Nobody. Yeah. And not only that, politicians don't have to have an opinion on it, if you notice. There's been no major politician in the United States that's really came out with their own take on it.
Are they missing something?
Well,
should they?
Well, I think that
can we politicize this? Who does Donald Trump think the bad guy is in this?
Well, he would definitely say it would be Johnny Depp because him and Johnny Depp just don't like each other. And that's Trump's thing.
Yeah.
If you don't like Trump, he don't like you. And that's the and in fact, if you read Art of the Deal, Chapter 2, he has like his 12 points, and one of his 12 points is attack back when you've been attacked.
Sure, hit harder.
Right, and so that's his thing. But I think that in general, no politician, no Democrat in the House of Representatives or in the Senate has decried the domestic abuse aspects of this. You know, Johnny Depp did not sue the ACLU for writing that editorial. He sued Amber Heard for $50 million, and everybody knows that girl don't have $50 million. Yeah. She doesn't even have the minor $7 million she had pledged to that silly hospital angle she was playing on for the media, and also the silly ACLU angle she was playing on. So she doesn't even have that to pay because she's having to pay her legal bills related to these other suits.
Because all of the rest of it, as we point out, this is a show trial. Right. It's going to be all for show. There's going to be damages, and she'll be forced to pay the $50 million, $1 a year for the next 50 million years, and that's or remarry the guy.
But if Depp had sued the ACLU, he would have had a real fight on his hands.
Well, a bucket of lawyers.
Right. Yeah. Right. So, of course he didn't. He went after, who did he go after? He went after the young woman that had cuckolded him.
Right.
So that was the the reality.
The amazingness of this story, and as you point out, maybe even here on Guam, where we're at the fringes of democracy and the fringes of commerce, American commerce out here, the cost for everything for us seems to be ballooning up in front of our very eyes, and there's nothing that anybody can do about it except live with less. I went to pay less the other day, and I spent $212 on stuff, which would have cost me, it's a bachelor diet stuff, right? I get some cans of tuna and some beanie weenie and some chili no beans and I think some coffee filters and whatever. And I remember unpacking it going, I must have left another bag in the car, because this didn't feel like I was putting away $212 worth of stuff. That laughing cow, that's not cheap cheese, bro. It's not cheap cheese. So, when we have opportunities like this to jump out of these stories, I wonder to what degree people use this program to go, all right, yeah, he's going to talk about news, he's going to talk about public events and all of this other stuff, but he's going to do it in that kind of Ray Gibson kind of, we're taking everything a degree lighter here.
But Ray, there's something else that's going on here that a lot of listeners may or may not realize. As you're talking, or as I'm talking, or whatever, or Joe Cruz, or the real Joe's talking, the public is playing along in their minds. They're talking back and arguing with you at the individual level. And in fact, they even feel like they know you probably a lot better than they really do, because they've had these morning conversations with you, and they may not know you directly, but they feel they know you. And that's a big part of what's going on.
Oh, no, and I hope it's true.
Yes.
Who I met the other night? Michael McCleary. The first time we ever met. He's a Facebook kind of guy, and we got to talk. He left his wife at the table. Man, it was a long time that we were talking. But I always try to, when I get an opportunity to meet somebody that I know from, quote, the radio, always try to be it's one of those things where, I'll bet you if me and Ray Gibson got together, we'd be best friends. And I keep that in my head when I meet up with people. All right, what do we got here? A couple of comments. Bonnie Suba. Everyone talking about the Depp trial, but not about Saturday night's massive fire at the nation's largest chicken and egg factory. The EU announced that the world only has 10 weeks of wheat left. Ukraine and Russia exports 33% of the world's wheat. Power outages across the United States due to a shortage of diesel and oil and gas. Inflation climbing by the minute. Anything else going to happen? Well, so I was bragging, low-key bragging about having the financial wherewithal to spend $212 on groceries, bachelor groceries over at Payless. But I will say this. I did not go looking for something that they didn't have. There were no shortages. Everything that I wanted was there, including the Cholula Chipotle hot sauce. They had that. I can't resist. I bought a bottle of that and another bottle of Louisiana hot sauce. They had it in varieties that I was looking for, so happy guy. I hope that fear porn, Bonnie, I hope you're wrong. I don't think you are, but I hope you are, because I don't know of all of the things that I have been through in my life and people in my age group have been through. I don't know that we've ever lived through a time here on Guam where we couldn't get access to the things that we needed. I mean, even after Pamela, you could still get ice. You could still find running water somewhere. Even after the hardest times. Even when they had that wildcat strike in the ports in California, and there was a time where there was less on the shelves, but there was always meat. There was always milk. There was always vegetables. You might not be able to get Wonder Bread, but you could find American bakery bread. So I'm not willing. I'm not ready for the SHTF. I hope that's not next.
Well, the big thing that a lot of folks are talking about, or the crisis that's going to come up over fertilizer. So the wheat is what's actually in the ground now. The big thing we've got to worry about in the next 8 months is fertilizer and the fertilizer shortage, and how that's going to impact it's going to impact everything. And it's going to impact everywhere, and it's just very, very unfortunate. And well, to what degree? Take this to its illogical conclusion. You think about the debacle on formula.
where the United States now has lowered itself to flying out armed carriers, Air Force, Army, whatever, airplanes to go out and airlift into the United States of America baby formula, because we've only got so many people doing this right now. And you think about the corporate level of farming that we have in the United States. I mean, how many mom and pop farms do we have? And if one guy can't make, as the lady points out, chickens and eggs, how many other guys will be able to fill that gap?
They only brought in 70,000 pounds of baby formula. They're acting as if they've saved the world with the 70,000-pound baby formula shipment.
No.
That's 35 tons. How much is an average tractor trailer? We're talking, one or two tractor trailers of baby formula. And so, it's purely, we're going to move the chairs on the Titanic. And when in fact, they caused this crisis through bad administration.
Regulation. Compliance.
Overregulation.
Overregulation.
Right.
No. That's overregulation has never helped any industry. I don't think. I mean, it might have helped a few players in a few parts of the game. But you remember in the 80s when they started regulating the airlines. I remember my mother was in the travel business for since the Wright brothers, and she said no good will come of this. Right. And it allowed for what used to be a huge horizon of airplane companies in the United States. Now we're down to what? 3, 4 big players?
Right.
And the rest are just little tiny maniac players. There used to be a million different radio stations with a million different formats and a million different DJs, and then they came and quote deregulated back in the 1980s and allowed for major corporations to buy up all of the talent, all of the signals, and as a result, virtually every radio station across the country sounds like another radio station in another market. There's not as much diversity of conversation, not as much musical diversity as we had prior to that. But anytime we start taking aim at regulations, you can never really predict the outcome.
Yeah. How did we end up with just 3 baby formula manufacturers in the U.S.?
Considering how many babies are being born, period, and what we should have been able to export to other countries.
Wow. We actually, we have. Utah is the highest baby state in the U.S. I think we're 50% over Utah.
On Guam?
Right.
There is no formula shortage here on Guam. I saw plenty of that, and the fact that you can still go to virtually any gas station on Guam and buy formula is testimony to all of that. I got to do, before we're all done, 9:56, and the program is just about done. I do want to do a shout to my bro Mark Cruz, who went to the States and came back with T-shirt. It's an In-N-Out T-shirt.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it looks like the Golden Arches, but it's not. It's In-N-Out. And it's got the fancy sunset on the back of it. That's how you know where he got it. And so thank you very much to him. I really, really appreciate it. Super value your friendship. Now, he's also the guy that brought in the coffee cups that says, I'm a gun-toting, old-school, small government, keep your nose out of my life and hands out of my pocket, conservative, and proud of it. Guam flag, American flag. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And I think there might be a couple other Let's Go Brandon things around here that came from him as well. 9:57 and chain. I appreciate you coming in and opening up my eyes to what is clearly a gap. Maybe I do need to get cable television back in the house, because if it isn't on Twitter, and I'm not following it on Twitter or Instagram or Facebook, there's a pretty good chance I'm going to miss it, as I did with this. So I'm going to have to pay more attention to Mana and Shelley and find out what they're watching so that I can talk about that on the radio as well. Appreciate you coming in. 9:57, last break of the program, and then Fox News is coming up.
What's for breakfast at KFC under $3.95, you ask? What's for breakfast at KFC that's different than the other guys, you ask? KFC's chicken wrap, sausage wrap, the Colonel's chicken congee, chicken fried steak, sausage biscuit and gravy, and biscuit sandwiches made with KFC's original fluffy biscuits. All for under $3.95 and all only at KFC. Plus, with waffles and the Colonel's chicken fried rice, we've got something for everyone.
So visit KFC for breakfast today. It's finger-licking good.
Hafa-day, Patsy Gogri from Security Title here with information about what a title company does. The title side of our business determines who owns the property and guarantees your ownership with a title insurance policy. The escrow side acts as an independent third party, managing the transfer of money and documents between the buyer, seller, lenders, and others. Security Title has the management of real estate closings down to a science. Give us a call. We are here to help.
You can watch on YouTube, man. This is James Howard. Colin, do me a favor. You type some long thing up on your Facebook post. Do me a favor. Send that to me in Messenger. I'd like to be able to read the thing in its entirety. I don't have time right now because it's closing in on a minute until. Remind me tomorrow, Real Joe, if we get into a small talk situation, 7 simple habits that can cut Alzheimer's risk in half. Isn't that one of those?
I hope I remember it.
Yeah. I gotta go. I got a T-shirt to wear. Programming note, in case you missed it the first time I told you, Tall Tales starts early today because we have to end the show early. So 3:30 for Tall Tales. Jose will be in the studio working with Bob Klitsky, and Zana's going to take you through all of it. And then at 5:30, we cut away from our Tall Tales program to bring you Platform 2020. We've not gotten confirmation yet from Governor Felix P. Camacho, but we have confirmation from Lulian Guerrero and Mike Nicholas. So I think it'll be an interesting Democratic gubernatorial debate that is going to take place. You'll be able to hear it here. You'll be able to watch it on our Facebook's page as well as Candidate's page. So I got to go. It's 10 o'clock in the morning. KUSG, I got you at 93.3. We are The Point.
Paying tribute to the nation's fallen, I'm Rich Dennison, Fox News. President Biden took part in Memorial Day ceremonies, which included laying a wreath at the tomb of the unknown soldier.
Then delivered remarks at Arlington National Cemetery in Virginia, stressing the importance of remembering as he spoke directly to those who've lost a service member.
I promise you the day will come when the memory of your loved one, your patriot, will bring a smile to your lip before it brings a tear to your eye. That's when you know you're going to make it.
He praised those who served, saying they defended the idea of the United States of America, that we are here today because of them.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal.